Please be happy.
Hello, hello. Welcome back. Oh, God. It is tween time. Audio is good. Okay, thank you. Oh, gosh. Let's see, what is our percentage? Oh, we're pretty much at like 50%. Yay! So I'm guessing that's like 50% of just from Aspen's thing. I wonder if like all the side characters also include the percentage. Because the only stories we haven't really done is the old man and obviously Juliet's. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Alright. Time to hop back in. Okay. At breakfast the next morning, I'm still thinking about Silver and her story, and about how much it has in common with mine. I only half listened as Julia and Aspen talk about a book they've both been reading. Instead, it's nice to just watch them enjoy being around each other. It's so easy to miss that when you're not looking for it. Of course, you can still miss out on other things. It takes me a moment to realize that Aspen is trying to get my attention. Shaking my head, I bring my attention back.
Miho, anyone home?
Damn. She said, you kind of brain dead?
There is now. Just stepped out for a minute, you know.
Believe me, I know. I was just asking if something had happened to your bead. It looks brighter again.
It does?
Oh man, that'd be embarrassing if Aspen noticed a change before I did. Honestly, I didn't even notice until she pointed it out. I tuck my necklace away from me so I can see it. Sure enough, the glow is stronger than before. It's still not as strong as Silver's though.
I swear it wasn't like that when I went to sleep.
Maybe it changed overnight. Like your body, perhaps it needs time to process. Actually, I believe I learned something useful in that regard. I was able to get in touch with one of the curators from the exhibition you saw at Tepapa.
Yeah, Papa. That's just such a funny museum name.
I mentioned the painting of Agumio and asked if he knew anything about them, and he told me a very interesting myth. It says that not only is Agumio's bead the source of her magic, but it also requires more magic to sustain itself. Most Fable take their magic from the underworld's source, but for those who don't come from the underworld, such as Miho,
it has to come from somewhere else.
Right.
We're all quiet for a moment as we all came to what I'm sure is the same conclusion.
The memories.
Yes, I believe so. Every time someone forgets about you, I believe your bead retains that memory as a sort of power.
So, is that like a good thing or a bad thing though?
There was a second part to the myth as well. Once it's accumulated enough, Agumio can take that magic and make it her own, becoming something even more than Agumio.
Something more? In what way?
A Chunho.
Excuse me? Both of them look at me.
Pardon?
Chunho, I know the word, but not how I know it. As if Julia's explanation unlocked a forgotten memory of my own.
That's what I'd be if I swallowed the bean when it was ready. Tunnel, a sky fox.
I don't know what it means, but I know it's the next step in my existence, more than a gumiho.
If you swallowed it, I suppose that makes sense, but it hardly sounds pleasant.
It isn't.
Oh. Removing my necklace, I inspect the bead yet again. The glow must be related to what Juliet was saying. That it's getting closer to being ready. I don't know if the rest of me is, though.
But why now? I don't think that many people have forgotten me recently. But it started changing so fast.
It's magic. Even as a boring old human, I can tell you that magic never works how you think it should.
Not just magic, but also myth. Myths tend to have some roots in truth, but are incomplete or warped by retelling. Trust your eyes and your heart, not just what Aspen and I find.
Right. Besides, who knows how much farther it has to go? It could keep getting brighter and brighter for a long time. I've seen... I'll see if it looks any different this time next week.
I was about to mention Silver, but managed to catch myself. I want to tell Aspen and Juliet about her, but not yet. Not until I know her better myself. Not until I can convince her to meet them. And it could take even longer for Silver to change than for my bead. Although now that I think about it, what does the brightness of hers mean? That her bead has stored even more magic than mine? Something about that doesn't feel right. It can't just be about an amount. There has to be something more. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna take a little tum real quick. Okay. Excuse me. I wonder if even she knows what it is. There's one more big question, too. One more big what if.
If I do that, would it mean people stop forgetting about me? If my bead isn't there to steal the memories?
That would be very nice if so.
Indeed. I couldn't say, but I share Aspen's feelings. As I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I do.
I lock the necklace back around my neck. The more I learn about my powers, the more conflicted I feel. I know Aspen and Juliet mean well, but it's just not something they can understand. Even though Juliet has magic of her own, it's entirely different from mine. The conversation changes to recent events at the library and the Bell House, and none of us mention anything else about magic or Gumiho for the rest of the morning. Whatever is going to happen with my bead, I have to figure it out for myself. Alrighty, oh boy, it's time for family time. Even though I'm preoccupied with thinking about magic, the morning goes by without any trouble. The library isn't very busy, so I finish my tasks quickly and then work on reading and writing. When I hear the door open, I don't look up, just call out a greeting because I'm halfway through a worksheet, but then something floats into the edge of my vision to get my attention.
Kirby?
The familiar fable twirls in recognition. Of course, Tommy with him on the other side of his desk, but I don't see Gwen or Elijah.
Hi, me! Hey there. What's up? I'm looking for a super special book. Do you want to help me find it?
Here in the library? I haven't seen any weird bugs.
Nah, it's not in here. It's in the woods. It's a special butterfly where if you touch it, you turn into a butterfly too.
Tommy wants to be a butterfly. He could float away with Gerby. Oh no. Tommy flaps his arms, imagining what it would be like to have wings.
I kinda like how I am already. Where's your mom at, though?
He frowns.
She's at her house. I told her I was gonna go, but I don't think she heard me.
Oof. Knowing Gwen, once she realizes Tommy's missing, she'll go in a panic looking for him. I doubt I could just make him go home, though. Guess that means I'll have to keep an eye on him.
Alright, I'll go with you. But I'm not gonna touch it if we find it.
Okay, yay! Did you hear that, Gerby? Me's gonna come with us!
Gerby flaps his petals just like Tommy flapped his arms. I put away my things and then follow Tommy out the door. Before I go, I send a quick message to Gwen to tell her that Tommy's with me. Eventually, we reach Mount Victoria. It takes a lot longer walk with Tommy than it would take me on my own.
So, how do we find this thing?
We just have to look for it. It's got bright purple wings like Gerby, so it should be easy to spot.
I let him lead me around the area while he checks out all the flowers and plants that he can. We see all sorts of other bugs, but not the one we're looking for. I keep half an eye out for the butterfly, but I also watch to make sure Tommy doesn't touch something poisonous or bitey by accident. While we're wandering around, I notice that the area we're in is kind of familiar. That gives me an idea.
Hey, Tommy. Wanna see something neat?
She's gonna transform in front of him, isn't she?
Is it a bug? Nope. Okay, I guess.
It's just a short walk to my den. The condition isn't great, and I have to tidy it up a bit just so it's recognizable.
What is this?
It's my den! It's where I lived when I first came here.
Whoa.
Both Tommy and Gerby inspect my handiwork.
It used to be a lot nicer. Now it's kind of beat up.
I bet I could still fit in there.
Yeah, probably.
Tommy pokes around the entrance for a bit, clearing away some of the leaves and other stuff that's blocking it.
Do you like your new home more?
At the library? Oh, yeah.
My old house was better, where I lived with Mom and Dad. Dad still lives there, but now Mom has a different place where she lives. I have to go there sometimes.
You don't like it?
I don't want to have two homes. I just want one with all of us. Me, Mom, Dad, and Gerby. Come on, I don't see any butterflies here.
We start walking again, but don't let us get too far from the main path. Tommy and Gerby are still looking around for the butterfly, but I can tell Tommy's heart isn't in it quite as much. I don't have any experience with any of the issues Tommy's dealing with, or the rest of his family, but I feel like I should at least say something.
You know, I'm kind of jealous.
Why?
Because your parents let you have two homes. I spent a long time not even having one home. I don't really count places like my den. That was just a place to stay. Until I moved into the library, I didn't have somewhere better. But you get to have two!
What about your parents?
I don't have any. Not the same way you do.
My parents were just foxes, and I barely remember them or even think about them that much.
Even if they don't live in the same place, they both still love you lots, right?
I guess.
I'm not sure if anything I'm saying is helpful. I don't even know how to help Tommy, but I am, if I'm being honest at least, what he has for a family still seems pretty good, even if it's not perfect. In the end, we don't end up finding the magical butterfly. While we're still out looking around, my phone rings. Of course it's Gwen. I tell her where we are, and she promises to be here soon. When she finally meets up with us, she doesn't even scold Tommy for running off, just gives him a hug and thanks me. As they go off back to her house, I reflect on what I said. Being a human is tougher than I used to think it was. What Tommy and his family are going through isn't something I could relate to. But I get the feeling Tommy is trying in his own way. Just like Gwen and Elijah are, whatever it takes. I hope they're able to figure things out together. I'm not surprised when Aspen doesn't show up for breakfast before I fell asleep. She mentioned that she was feeling nervous about her meeting and expected to be up for a while, and that she'd probably sleep in. I offered to stay up with her, but she declined, saying she'd rather use that time to prepare. Her spot at the table is conspicuously empty as Julia and I eat together, but I'm sure she'll show up eventually. I keep an eye on my phone for any messages from her, even as Juliet and I clean up and start our days, but I don't hear anything from Aspen. The library gradually gets livelier, and I have my hands full restocking shelves and filling out papers. Finally, some familiar faces arrive, although Aspen's isn't one of them.
Be careful. If you drop it, we'll have to start all over.
Oh boy, it's the
I'm
kids.
not going to drop it. You carry it if you're so worried.
I can carry it if you'd like, Pippa.
It's fine.
I can hear the three kids before I can see them, their voice only getting louder when Armand pushes the front door open and holds it out for the other two. Cello enters first, followed by Pippa, who has arms wrapped tightly around a box. They've come in every day since we visited the Bell House, so Pippa and Armand still remember me. I didn't explain my magic to them, they just choose to work up here.
Good morning, Miss.
Cello can't help but yawn as she greets me.
Morning! Wow, you guys look exhausted.
Ugh. We are.
Cello and I stayed up all night finishing our project. Armand was only awake for like half of it.
You wouldn't let me touch the models, so why should I have to stay up?
You two, please.
Even Cello seems too tired to put up with her friends bickering today. They both huff, but stop arguing.
It was a long night, but we managed to get done. Since we're going back home tomorrow, we wanted to come show you and Ms. Aspen the final version.
She gave us a lot of advice at the Bell House.
And a lot of free refills.
Yeah, Ms. Aspen was super nice to us. Is she around?
Nope. I haven't seen her yet today. I think she had a late night too. I'll try calling her.
I'm going to go put this down somewhere.
Good idea.
All three of them go to find a table where they can set up, and I pull out my phone to give Aspen a call. It rings for a long time and about to hang up when I finally hear the line click. Ooh. Her voice is so groggy that she was clearly still asleep.
Hi, Aspen. Sorry to wake you up.
Miho? It's fine. Why are you calling so early, though? Is something wrong?
She sounds sick.
Early. It's almost lunchtime.
Huh?
There's a rustling sound and then I can hear her groan.
Oh, I was up so late last night.
I remember. Did you get a lot done?
I got a lot of worrying done, at least. That's about it. But I'll be ready for this evening. I didn't mean to sleep through breakfast.
It's alright. Cello and the others are here, though. They finished their project and wanted to show you. But if you're too tired, I can just send you a picture or something.
No, it's alright. I'll come over. I just need a bit to get ready.
Okay. See you soon, then.
See you.
I hang up and then go let the students know what's going on. They wander around the library to entertain themselves while we wait. Finally, the library door opens and Aspen enters, still looking half asleep. She manages to stumble in my direction and I greet her with a big hug.
Good morning. Actually, good afternoon.
Don't remind me. I'm glad to see you, though.
Same.
Miss Aspen, over here!
From the chosen spot, the three kids wave at Aspen.
Miss Aspen makes me sound so old.
She grumbles quietly enough that only I can hear her, but she puts on a smile as we go over to the table.
Thank you for coming to see us. Were you up late working too?
Something like that, yes. But not as hard as you were, it seems. Congratulations on finishing your project.
Despite her exhaustion, Aspen manages to use her customer service voice and seems generally excited for them.
Thanks.
Me and Cello worked really hard on it. I guess our mom helped too.
It was something the three of us all made together. But we wouldn't have been able to do that without visiting the Bell House.
I'm very excited to see. Is it in the box?
Pippa nods. Armin reaches for it, but Pippa pulls the box out of his way.
Here we go.
She carefully unfolds the flaps and reaches in, lifting out their project. Both Aspen and I gasp as we see it. It's a tiny version of the Bell House, about the size of a shoebox. The walls look like they're made out of cardboard or some other material, and the tables and chairs inside are made of clay. Even the stretch of road outside the cafe is included, with the benches and the flags and everything else. The smell of fresh paint emanates from the display, along with glue and other craft supplies.
It's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thanks.
Although Pippa sounds gruff as always, I can see her blush before she tries to hide her face. Aspen kneels down to get a better look, inspecting all the little details.
You've even got the bell above the door. How cute.
It wouldn't be the Bell House without a bell.
The plants, too. Great job, everybody.
Cello and Armand beam at the prize, and even Pippa manages a small smile.
Thanks for letting us spend time there.
And for all the coffee.
Of course. I remember the stress of homework and group projects very well. At least your group actually works together, instead of leaving it all for one person.
That's right.
Cello hastily answers, shooting Pippa a look before she can try to challenge it.
Thank you as well, Ms. Miho. We would have never found out about the Bell House if you didn't take us there.
No prob. I'll take any excuse I can to go there.
It's true. I speak from experience.
Hey, you're one of those excuses too.
Oh, I'm the excuse, am I? So it's the free drinks you're really visiting for?
Only sometimes. Sometimes you still make me pay.
Sounds like it should be always from here on out.
Damn. Miho just got bumped down to customer status. We both stare at each other for a second, slipping into laughter. It manages to push some of the tiredness out of Aspen's eyes. We chat with the kids for a while longer, swapping stories about Wellington and Ambarina, until finally it's time for them to pack up and get going. Aspen helps Pippa carefully return their project to its box and close it up. Then all 5 of us head outside.
Thanks again for all your help.
Oh, we never seeing these kids again?
Yeah, it was really nice meeting you. I hope we can come back to Wellington again sometime.
Me too.
It's bittersweet to think that after this time tomorrow, those two will have forgotten about me. I'm glad they'll remember Aspen though, and the Bell House, of course.
Yes. I wish we could stay longer, but I also miss home. It's kind of funny. I wasn't sure if I'd miss Samarina or not before we left, but now I definitely do.
Funny how fast that happens, right?
Yes.
Take care, all of you. You're always welcome at the Bell House again.
We'll definitely come back if we can.
Our two friends nod. Armand stoops down to pick up the box. I notice Pippa tense up, but she doesn't stop him.
Be careful.
Damn, she really doesn't want him to drop it.
I will.
Okay. Time to go. Goodbye, and thank you again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
With the final wave, we see them off until they've gone down the path and disappeared from sight. Once they're gone, Aspen slouches, sighing and
That was
yawning.
nice. I hope they get a good grade on their project.
They better. It looks really good. Are you gonna be alright though? You seem like you're about to fall over.
I'm fine. It was nice to have the distraction for a bit. Now all I have left to do is wait for this evening.
Wanna go in? Or are you gonna wait at home?
I'd rather wait with you, if that's okay.
Of course. I was hoping you'd say that.
Aspen holds out her hand and I take it. Together we step back into the library and wait for the appointed hour to arrive. I sit on a bench with a book in my lap, pretending to read. In reality, I'm not even trying. I'm watching the plaza across from me, where Aspen sits at the table alone. I offer to sit with her, but she declined, saying was something she'll need to do alone. Still, she knows I'm watching, even if I'm too far to hear. Pulling my phone out of my pocket, I slowly type a message wishing Aspen good luck and send it. From a distance, I see her check her phone and an instant later receive a few heart emojis in response. Just then, a stranger approaches her, and the two of them talk for a second before Aspen jumps up to shake their hand. Then they both sit back down and Aspen scoots her chair in closer. They chat for a long while, enough for the waitress to come out and refill their drinks several times. From what I can tell, it looks like the agent is doing most of the talking, and Aspen is mostly listening. Even from behind, I can tell when she's saying something, because the way she sits up and starts to move about animatedly. After a while, the agent opens their briefcase and passes some papers to Aspen, who stares at them. The agent stands, and a few seconds later Aspen does too. They shake hands a second time before the agent pays their bill and leaves, Aspen lingering at the table. When a couple more minutes pass by and she still doesn't move, I get up and go to her instead.
Hey, you.
Startled, Aspen looks around before looking up to see me.
Oh, Miho! Sorry to keep you waiting. I was just...
It's alright. I don't mind.
How'd it go?
The fact that I have to ask means I already know the answer. If it had gone as hoped, then I'm sure Aspen would be out of her seat jumping for joy.
It went... fine, I think.
You think?
Yeah. Shall we head back to the library? It's rather hot, isn't it?
Sure. Let's go.
It's not hot at all. In fact, it's downright pleasant. But I'm sure that's not the real reason she wants to get out of here. I lead the way, and although Aspen never lets go of my hand, she doesn't say anything either. The library still has a few guests in it when we get there, but we pass them by and head to the dining room instead, only to find it's already occupied.
Oh, hello.
Julia has papers of her own spread out on the table, but she sweeps them together and tucks them away as she greets us.
Hey!
Still silent, Aspen distractedly sits down, already pulling out the packet the agent gave her to examine. Juliet gives me a questioning look, and I offer a tiny shrug in response. I assume we're going to find out what's on Aspen's mind soon. There are two parts to the packet. The first one is huge, almost as thick as a book. It must be the copy of the manuscript Aspen sent in. The second one is much smaller, but it's still lengthy. That one's Aspen's focused on. She reads over the document, which has to be at least a dozen pages long, if not more. Even worse, the printed words are really tiny. Finally, she puts both bundles into her bag, chewing her lip before speaking.
I think I can do this.
Do what?
Aspen snaps her attention to me, like she just noticed she's not alone. Homie's in a daze.
Oh! I'm sorry. I spaced out.
Yeah, we could tell.
It's quite all right. It's clear you have a lot to think about.
Yes. Well, hopefully I've got most of the thinking out of the way.
She slumps back, shoulders rising and falling as she sighs.
They said it needs a lot of work, which is understandable. I already knew that from all the rejection notices. I hadn't realized the scope of the issues, but fortunately they did. When I saw all the markups, I was taken aback at first. It made sense when I thought about it, though. They're a publisher for a reason, and as a first-time author, I want a publisher for a reason. So it needs a lot of work. A lot of rewriting, really. But they encouraged me to fix it up and then resubmit. They asked me to make my decision by Halloween, so I have a few weeks to think it over. But I think I'd be a fool not to do it, right?
Aspen looks at Juliet and me in turn, and from her knitted brows and small frown, I can tell Juliet is thinking the same thing I am.
You don't sound convinced.
It's a big decision. Surely you don't need to make it right away. Why not take advantage of the time they gave you to think about it?
I don't have to decide right now. But if I just let myself think about it too long, I'll never do anything. I've learned that the hard way. Besides,
Her voice drops and face
there may
falls.
not be another chance.
I follow her gaze, tucked into her bag near where the papers from the agent were stuffed. I can see the corners of several more empty envelopes. More for Aspen's collection. She catches me looking and nudges the bag shut with her
I
foot.
suppose you're right, though. I should give it a bit more thought. It can wait until after the weekend, at least.
Time here moves like weird because it doesn't tell us like the days or anything. It only tells us if it's like morning, evening, or night. Relieved, Juliet nods.
I think that's a wise idea.
We spend the rest of the evening together, chatting and having a good time. None of us mention writing or Aspen's book again, including her. Still, there's something in the way she just talks and laughs. She's only half listening. I hoped that her meeting would make Aspen feel better and relaxed again, the way she was on our date at the gardens. Instead, it seems like it's done the opposite. It's hard to see her struggle, and I wish there was something I could do, but I'm at least qualified person to give Aspen advice on something like this. I don't know anything about books or writing or publishers. I do know how important writing is to her and how many of her dreams revolve around it. I know how hard she's worked and will keep working. No matter what, I also know that it's something she'll have to decide for herself, with or without advice from Juliet and me. Of course, I'll support Aspen no matter what she chooses. I just hope that whatever decision she makes, she won't end up regretting it later. By the time Aspen has to head home, she perked up a little bit, but not enough to make me stop worrying about her. Still, she says goodbye and with a kiss and a smile, and I promise to come by in the morning. Right now, that'll have to be good enough for me. On Saturday morning, I wake up around my usual time, but linger in bed for a while. I can hear the distant sounds of Aspen and Juliet having an animated conversation. Aspen laughs and Juliet laughs. I don't know what they're laughing about, but I smile too. I just like hearing my girlfriend laugh, after all, no matter what kind of troubles are weighing on our minds. If she's able to laugh despite everything, then that's a win in my book. Aside from a couple hasty meals, it's been a while since the two of them have really gotten to spend much time together. Sometimes it's easy to forget that they've known each other longer than they've known me. Outside, it's shaping up to be another beautiful day. There are clouds, but none of them are rain clouds. The trees and grass sway in a gentle breeze beyond my window. I've had more beautiful days here than I count. Even Wellington's weather, at its worst, isn't so bad from indoors. I open my window, enjoying the morning air as I freshen myself up too. Making my way silently to the kitchen, I pause just out of sight and listen.
I've given it lots of thought.
I have, but I still can't decide. Regina really wants me to take it, of course, but
But there are good and bad parts of both.
exactly. I feel like I'm not sure who to compare it to.
No need to compare. I understand what you mean.
For a while longer, I stay where I am, unseen. Not because I want to eavesdrop or spy on Aspen and Juliet, but because I don't want to interrupt them. I just want to let them talk. Maybe I'll do just that. Hearing Aspen express some of her worries and hearing Juliet offer words of encouragement reminds me of some of my earliest days here. Both of them changed their lives around to include me, which is something I'll always be grateful for. Still, I should give them a chance to spend some time with just each other, not because I feel unwelcome, but because that hasn't really happened since I've arrived. Eventually, there's a moment of silence followed by the sound of a cup being set on the table. I choose this time to make my entrance. Oh goodness, I don't know if you could hear the mowing outside, but just in case, I will be right back. Okay, you think the people who are cutting the grass are gone.
Ah, there you are. Good morning, Miho.
Good morning!
I go into the kitchen and grab a piece of toast and an apple, but I don't sit down.
Sleep well.
Sure did. Now that I'm up, though, I think I'm gonna go for a walk.
This early? Well, it was quite nice on my way up here.
Yeah, I used to go for morning walks all the time, but it's been a while.
You couldn't have picked a better day, it seems. Enjoy yourself then, Miho.
I will. See you when I'm back.
For good measure, I wrap a couple more slices of toast in a paper towel and put them in one of my deep pockets, along with another apple and some packs of jam. I wave goodbye before I leave, and then I head back to my room to get dressed before stepping outside towards the road. Munching on my breakfast as I walk, I hum a song to myself that I heard on TV. I go in the direction of the ocean, same as usual. My days of aimless wandering really have decreased. I actually have places to go now, and people to see. A day without any plans is a luxury. I wonder how Jian and Chu's were to go on their travels. What first brought them to my forest all those years ago? Was it on a whim, or was there something in particular they were searching for? If there was, I hope they found it. I would have loved to ask, would have loved to tell them about Aspen and Juliet. More than anything, though, I wish I could have thanked them. Our time together was short, even by human standards, but it still meant everything to me. I take myself to Mount Victoria, and I start the familiar climb, but before I get to the top, I stop. It's only been a couple days since I last came here and saw Silver. Trying to visit her again so soon might be pushing my luck, but then again, so is trying to visit her at all. The lukewarm toast and apple in my pocket aren't much, but if she lives anything like I did, she'll still probably appreciate them. Even if she says she doesn't. Instead of transforming, I stay on 2 feet, heading in the same direction I went last time. I'm not too concerned about finding her. If she wants to be found, she will be. Keeping my eyes and ears peeled, I watch for a glint of silver fur or the sound of a snapping branch. When I finally spot her, it's purely by accident. Once again, she's in her human form, rather than a fox. With her back to me, she kneeled at the edge of the patch of grass, attention focused on something I can't see. She doesn't move as I approach, although I'm sure she knows I'm there.
Be careful.
I halt, still a few feet away. At least she didn't call me a dog.
What is it?
I approach delicately, scanning the ground before every step. Finally, I arrive behind her, and I look down to find my answer. A bird, about the size of my hand, lies on its side in the grass. It's alive, but clearly injured.
What happened to it?
This one was blown from its perch in the tree. For whatever reason, it was too weak to fly. Now, its leg is broken. It won't be long until it dies.
Oh. Looking down, I see that Silver's right about its injury. It struggles to flap its wings, but it can't even push itself into a standing position.
Poor thing.
I kneel down beside Silver.
You were trying to help it, right?
She scoffs.
It is beyond help. Such is nature's way. I simply thought to put it out of its misery.
You didn't, though.
Silence. Before doing anything else, I reach into my pocket and pull out the food I brought with me, holding it out towards Silver.
Here. I brought you this.
She looks at it, but doesn't make any move to accept.
What is this? Poison?
It's an apple. And some toast. It's not poisoned. I ate some myself. Ooh, and this.
I have to dig all the way down to the bottom to find the little pack.
Grape jelly.
Personally, I think grape jelly's the worst. Silver stares incredulously, like I'm trying to give her, well, poison or something. I set the food down by her knees and turn my attention back to the bird.
Let's get you some help, Birdie.
I cup my fingers together and reach for the bird, which finally gets a reaction from Silver.
What are you doing?
Her voice is sharp like a knife.
I'm going to take this guy back home.
I may not know what to do, but I'm sure Aspen or Juliet will. It's better than just leaving it out here to die.
Why? It's weak. Even were it to survive today, it's only a matter of time before something else claims its life.
So what? I'm sure that time still matters to it. Both of us can relate, right?
As gently as I can, I slide my hands around the struggling bird and scoop up the poor little thing. Its beady eyes look around frantically, and I can feel its tiny heart pounding in its tiny chest. I start heading back towards the library as fast as I can. Before I get very far, there's a noise from behind me, and I look back to see Silver following me. An empty paper towel dangles from her hand. Smiling to myself, I keep walking. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Because something just happened and I need to go check it out. So, I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Ugh. When I step from the woods back onto the path, I expect Silver to have disappeared. Instead, she takes a few cautious steps out, looking left and right as if a car might come barreling down the mountain. Avoiding my eyes, she walks past me and keeps going, like she was planning to do this anyway. When we reach the base of Mount Victoria, she's a few meters ahead of me, and I clear my throat loudly to get her attention.
It's this way.
She stomps after me, annoyed at Wellington for its geography or something. Her clothes, which are clearly meant to help her sneak around at night, stand out like a sore thumb in the morning sun. They also must be hot as hell. If either of those things bother her, she doesn't let herself show it. I curl my fingers to shade the bird as much as I can. It seems to have calmed down a little, but that's probably more from exhaustion than anything. When we reach the library, Silva trails far behind. I wait at the entrance, not sure if she's coming or not. I don't ask. She'll do what she wants either way. After a moment, she walks up to the hills and joins me. I simply nod in acknowledgement before I push open the door with my shoulder, Silver behind me like a shadow. Within seconds, Aspen pops her head out from the dining room.
Ah, Miho, we were just...
Choking in surprise, Aspen's eyes goes wide as a saucer as she notices my companion. She just walked away. She disappears from sight, and I can only imagine and she's saying to Juliet right now. Behind me, Silva looks around in curious awe, although she stops when she notices me watching. I jerk my head towards the dining room and head in. Both Aspen and Juliet are there waiting, trying to appear casual. But it's by the way they're both silently staring at the entrance. I'm sure it's just an act.
This is Silver.
She nods at the ground and says nothing, displaying none of her usual venom or drama. It feels as if she's hiding behind me, which is something I wouldn't have expected her pride to allow.
It's quite nice to meet you, Silver.
Charmed.
None of them know what to say. I can't blame them. Fortunately, there's something more important to talk about.
We came back here because we need some help. Or at least this guy does.
I uncurl my fingers and tilt my hands for Aspen and Juliet to see. I doubt either of them even noticed I was carrying something. They both lean in to see.
What's this?
The bird starts to struggle again, probably because of how many more people are suddenly staring at it.
Ah, his leg. I'll be right back.
Peering at the little bird, it doesn't take Juliet more than a second to see what's wrong. She hurried up to depart for the stairs, moving right past Silver. Without a glance, Silver lurches to the side to get out of her way all the same. Aspen grabs one of the dish racks and folds it up to make a small square and then sets that on the table.
Here, why don't you put him down on this? I read that it's best to put him in a box or somewhere enclosed, but this will do for now.
I gently lower the bird onto the makeshift cushion. Its eyes still dart around, but it doesn't struggle as much. I sigh with relief at being able to unfold my hands, shaking and stretching them out before washing them several times. Julia returns with her phone in one hand and a small cardboard box in the other. Using a kitchen knife, she cuts a few holes into the sides of the box and then puts it aside.
Miho, will you help me move him?
She takes two corners of the rack and I grab the other two, and we carefully lift it over the box and set it down inside.
Do you think it'll be okay?
I keep my voice at a whisper, even though the bird can't understand our words. I still don't want it to hear.
I hope so. If not for you, it certainly wouldn't have a chance. I've contacted someone who will be able to provide better assistance than we can. She should be here shortly.
Is it a vet?
No, a contact at the nature preserve. She's rescued quite a few unfortunate creatures like our friend here.
I've never heard of a nature preserve before. What's that?
It's a conservation area on the north side of town. They have a bunch of protected land where they rehabilitate injured animals or ones that can't survive in the wild. I used to go there on class trips sometimes. One time we had a sleepover there, and I saw a kiwi.
She smiles fondly as she recalls the memory.
Whoa. I didn't know a place like that existed.
Excuse me.
It's far from the only one. There are dozens more in New Zealand alone, of all different sizes.
Looking at the box on the table, I can't help but feel a little bad for our friend. He's probably never going to see his home on Mount Victoria again, and he doesn't even get a say in it. But where he's going doesn't sound half bad. Like Juliet said, he probably wouldn't have even survived if he had been left on his own, if not for me, and for...
Silver?
I only now realize that she's gone.
Oh, I didn't even notice her leave.
She's like that.
I go out into the hallway, looking up the stairs and around the room for her. The front door is open, but only a crack. Something's keeping it from closing. Walking over, I spot something on the floor, jammed between the door and the wall. It's the gnawed core of an apple, wrapped in a breadcrumb-covered paper towel. Laughing, I pick it up and throw it in the trash, letting the door shut behind me. In the dining room, Aspen and Juliet are both seated again. It's far past Juliet's bedtime, but she looks as awake and alert as I've ever seen her. I sit down too, waiting for the question, and I know it's coming. It doesn't take Aspen more than 2 seconds.
So, who exactly was that? Obviously she was a Gumiho, but...
I take a deep breath and try to think of where to begin.
It's a long story.
You know that's my favorite kind.
Nodding, I finally settle on where to start.
She used to be a fox, just like me.
When bedtime rolls around in the evening, I'm more than ready for it. Climbing over my bed to reach the window, I pause for a moment to enjoy the breeze. I've kept it open all day. As I reach up to pull it shut, the wind intensifies for just a moment. The flowers on my desk shake, and my scroll rolls off the edge and onto the floor. I slide the window closed with a dull thud, and then pick up the fallen parchment. It's been a while since I've opened it, but I still know every crease and rough edge by heart. Unfolding it, I stare at the familiar but unfamiliar scrawlings. What would that guide at the museum exhibit have thought if they saw my scroll? Could they have read it? Well, they probably would have thought I stole it from somewhere. No matter what it says, I probably got more use out of it than Jiang-in ever expected. What kind of person gives a scroll to a fox? Then again, that was part of what made them so special. My phone buzzes as I set the scroll back down and I see Aspen's picture appear.
Hey!
Hey, you weren't in bed yet, were you?
Nah, not yet. Soon though.
Well, I won't keep you up. I just wanted to say goodnight again, and that I love you.
I love you too. But I don't mind staying up. Is everything okay?
I can hear the sound of Aspen's blankets and then an annoyed meow as she moves around on the other end.
Yeah, I'm fine. I couldn't fall asleep, thinking about all the editing I have ahead of me. Today was nice, though. I'm glad I got to see you and Juliet. And Silver.
Me too. And the burn.
Aspen laughs.
Right, and the bird.
Earlier, I told her and Julia about the other times I had met Silver, and some of what I've learned about magic. I kept the details of her past secret, though. It isn't mine to talk about.
I'm sure he's very glad he met the two of you as well.
Yeah, well, I couldn't just leave it there. Even if it can't have a normal bird life or live in the forest. At least it's got someone to take care of it now. I didn't really do that much.
You did plenty. Many people would have left him to die, if they even noticed him at all.
Maybe. Yeah.
I also didn't tell her and Julia about how Silver thought we should just abandon him too. The reasons I gave Silver for why I couldn't do that was true, although I can't blame her for not believing me or understanding. Someone saved my life once too, but Silver has chosen to die.
I thought that it should have a chance too. Even though it's just a bird, it's still alive. I'm sure people would have said I'm just a fox before. I didn't even know how to help it. I just hoped you or Juliet would. That was really the lucky part. That and Juliet knowing someone else to contact. It took a lot of people to save that bird, huh?
Even Silver, in her own weird way, I think she was glad I'd survived too. There was no response from the other end, although the call is still going, just a faint sound.
Aspen?
I listened to the noise for a second and realized it's her breath. She's already fallen asleep. Smiling, I leave the call running as I set my phone next to my pillow and lay down. After a few seconds, the screen turns off, Aspen's photo disappearing as well.
Sleep tight.
2 weeks later.
Okay, you can open your eyes.
I take my hands off my face and look around. Aspen's apartment doesn't seem any different than usual, aside from being a bit untidy, but she stands there in front of me, beaming with her hands behind her back.
Maybe it's a little silly to celebrate a 1-month anniversary, but I have a gift for you.
Oh boy.
A gift?
Aspen laughs and steps closer to me.
Yes, although it's kind of a gift for both of us.
Slowly she brings her hands around and reveals what she's hiding. It's a stack of papers, too small to be her manuscript, but similar. She turns the stack so I can see the front page, which only has a few words written on it, short enough that I can sound them out.
The Fox and the Grove.
Yes, the title was supposed to be a placeholder, but I rather like it. It's a new story that I wrote. You can probably guess what it's about.
I flip through the pages. There's only text on one side and a lot of blank space. Still, just holding and looking at this present makes my heart swell.
I can't believe you already wrote a new book.
It's much shorter than my novel. More like a kid's book than anything.
Still, that's amazing. I didn't even know you were working on this.
That's because it was supposed to be a surprise, silly. It's just working on all these changes to my novel. I needed something that I could write on the side for fun.
No wonder you've been so tired all the time. You've been working on 2 things at once.
It's fine. I'm fine. Once I'm done with the edits, everything will be back to normal. Spending time on this felt like a treat.
With a bright smile that doesn't quite hide the bags under her eyes, I wish I could believe Aspen when she said she's fine.
I only have a couple more days before I have to send in my revisions anyway. So by next week, I'll be able to relax again.
The area around her desk is messy, more than the rest of her apartment. Aside from her laptop and notebook spreads across it, there are empty coffee cups, loose sheets of paper, and wrappers from fast food and frozen meals. The covers on her bed are unmade, revealing the shoebox that's hidden beneath it. The lid is bulging with how many letters are stuffed into it. Noticing my stare, Aspen zips over to the bed and pulls the sheets down to hide the box, kicking some clothes and other stuff on the floor under the bed too.
Anyway, here, for you. I love you.
I take the papers as gently as I can and hold them to my heart as I lean in to kiss Aspen.
I love you too.
Like always, the moment is way too short, but Aspen's smile looks brighter and more real than when we part.
Go ahead and make yourself at home. I need to take care of the cats and do all my other after-work chores.
Okay. Let me know if you need any help.
Of course.
Another kiss on the cheek and then she's off. On one hand, it's hard to believe we've already been dating for a month. On the other, it's hard to believe it's only been a month. It feels like ages since we said goodbye at the bus station. I've had that feeling several times since coming to Wellington, where the days feel like they're either rushed or dragged on. Either way, they passed, and I've been here for almost 3 months now. It's not the longest I live in any one place, but I'm sure that at some point I'll pass my record. I kick off my shoes and lay back on the bed, staring up at the ceiling with Aspen's new book on my chest. Everything around me has the faintest trace of Aspen's perfume, along with her ever-present smell of coffee. The blankets, the sheets, the pillows, all of it. Even out of the room, her presence is all-encompassing. From the bathroom, over the sound of running shower, I can hear her Aspen singing something to herself. I wonder if she knows I can hear her. Or maybe she's doing it because she knows I can hear. Although her singing voice isn't the best, it's surprisingly clear and stable. I like listening to it just because it's hers. Right when I'm about to sit up, one of Aspen's cats, I think it's Brian, hops up on the bed beside me. I expect him to run away as soon as he recognizes me, but to my surprise, he doesn't. He sniffs my ears and my tail, but then cautiously nuzzles my face.
Aww. Hey, buddy.
I reach out to try and pet him, but that turns out to be too much and he darts away.
Well, it's better than last time.
I move down to the floor with my back against the beds, setting the papers in my lap. They're stapled together at the top, and I'm afraid of tearing or damaging them. Even though I know Aspen could print another copy, there's something special about this one. It's the one she made just for me. I make sure there aren't any other cats around who might cause any issue and then turn to the first page. In the middle of the forest was a grove, and in the middle of that grove was a log. It had been years since it had fallen. Once one of the proudest trees around, and now in death was home to an abundance of life. It takes me a long time, probably longer than it should, to read through, but it's not just my slow pace with the words. It's also the memories that they call to my mind. I can picture exactly what the log looks like. If I close my eyes, I can smell the damp grass and feel the breeze on my fur. Seeing Johnnin's words written out bring a lump to my throat. I carried them around in my head for so long before I even understood them. Now, seeing them written down, they'll last forever. Some of the details are different from reality, and of course Aspen's book doesn't use any names, but it's still my story. Back when I first met Aspen, I told her I didn't have any story to tell, now reading it back to myself. I could kind of see why she found it so interesting. Maybe there's always been more to me than I thought. Eventually, Aspen emerges from the restroom, her hair still wet, spotting the papers in my hand. She approaches with a smile.
Hey,
Good save.
Dang, she was about to ruin the book already.
I can't let my favorite book get ruined after all.
Favorite book?
Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it.
After putting the papers on the nightstand where they'll be safe, I stand up so that I could give Aspen a hug.
I'm so glad. That makes it all worth it. I was worried I might get something wrong or forget an important part, but...
I cut her off by tapping a finger to her lips.
It was perfect.
Kissing my finger, Aspen smiles.
It's what you deserve.
Aspen goes to dry her hair and then brushes around, finishing up her chores before returning to my side. Leaning against me, she yawns.
You should go take a nap.
Even without the yawning, it's clear that she needs rest and hasn't been getting
I
much.
can't nap. You're here. Besides, I haven't done any of my writing for the day.
Wouldn't you write better if you're not tired?
I haven't been not tired for years. And what about you?
What about me? I'm fine.
But if I'm asleep, then that's less time that I get to spend with you.
We're still together. It'd be the same as if you were writing, right?
You have a point there.
I sit down in her desk chair, blocking off her computer and crossing my arms. Melodramatically sighing, she lays down on the bed but still faces me.
All right, if you insist. But only for half an hour or so. If I ever sleep, you better wake me up before you leave, all right?
Okay.
I have zero intentions of waking her up. She gives me a doubtful
I
eye.
mean it. No slipping out silently so you can let me sleep or any nonsense like that.
I won't. I promise.
Removing her glasses and putting them on the nightstand, Aspen offers me one last smile.
Good.
Pulling the blankets up to her shoulders, she rolls over to face the wall. It doesn't even take a minute before I can hear the shift in her breathing. She's out like a light.
Just like on the phone.
Half an hour comes and goes while I watch videos on Aspen's computer or reread the book she wrote for me. Of course, she shows no signs of waking up anytime soon. Good. She needs the rest. I won't wake her up, but I won't break my promise either. It's simple. If I can't leave until she gets up, then I just won't go. I entertain myself and time passes by. Brian the cat gets bold enough to try approaching me again, and Percy comes with him too. They sit down in unison near my feet.
Kitties.
Holding out my hand, I stretch my finger as far as possible. They stare for a moment before one and then the other gives a curious sniff. Finally, deciding I'm not a threat, they both rub against my leg, letting me scratch their backs. Their fur is soft and fluffy, like petting a pillow. They go back and forth around each other, suddenly not able to get enough attention. Well, it's not like I don't know what that is. Night falls and I even start to get tired too. Aspen hasn't moved at all, other than to toss and turn occasionally. I send a quick message to Julia to tell her where I am, and then set my phone down next to Aspen's on her nightstand, besides the printed pages. It all feels very normal, but in a good way. The little fox in her grove could have never dreamed of the things she'd see one day. Planes, phones, apartment buildings. All she knew of humans was a kind touch and a piece of paper. In some ways, that little fox never changed. Moving as carefully as I ever did in the middle of a heist, I flick off the lights, half expecting the sudden darkness to disturb Aspen, but she doesn't budge at all. Same goes for when I climb into bed beside her. I wrap my arms around Aspen, draping my tail across us both. She moves slightly, and I curse myself slightly. I must not have been careful enough. Her voice is less than a whisper. It's barely a breath.
I'm here.
Good.
Within seconds, she sleeps again. Before I myself drift off, there's a soft thump on the bed behind me, and then a second one. Something warm and fuzzy rests against my back, and then again near my legs. I crane my head to look at the cats. They're both curled up into balls, paws near their faces, just like their owner. Byron stares at me in the dark, probably wondering why I'm looking at him. Deciding he doesn't care, he closes his eyes like Percy and Aspen. Feeling more content than I can ever remember, I shut my eyes as well and drift off into sleep. Oh, are we gonna forget about Juliet then? Oh, God. I wake up to the sound from hell. It screeches and blares so loud that it hurts. My eyes shoot open in an instant, and I sit bolt upright in a place I don't recognize. Where am I? What's going on? Besides me, something moves. I stare at the pulsing lump in the darkness, and suddenly remember the answer to one of my questions. I'm so disoriented, I forgot I was at Aspen's. She rolls over to her other side, not reacting to the sound. Instead, she looks confused for other reasons. I nod, too tongue-tied to know what to say first. Pushing herself up on one arm, Aspen reaches all the way across me and fumbles around till she grabs her phone. As she pulls it past my face, I realize the source of its noise. She presses something on the screen and the sound disappears. With a groan, she drops her phone onto the blanket between us.
Time to wake up.
When did she have time to change clothes? That's a real question. My racing heart begins to slow back down. It was just her alarm clock. Duh. Okay. I was about to say, is something actually gonna happen with, like, the music? I feel silly for being so panicked, but it really took me by surprise. I'm not sure Aspen even noticed. She rubs her eyes sleepily.
I'm not still dreaming, am I?
I shake my head.
I don't think anyone could still be dreaming after that.
Why didn't... I didn't...
Her thoughts stumble off into a yawn, and then she tries again.
You were supposed to wake me up.
Only before I left, so I didn't leave.
Even half asleep, she still manages to smile. Rolling onto her back, she looks up at the ceiling with half-lidded eyes.
My day's already been made.
The two of us are some of the only pedestrians out this early. A few cars and the occasional school bus pass us by, but for the most part, the walk to the library is quiet. When we get there, Juliet's already waiting in the kitchen.
Good morning, you two.
Morning.
Hello.
Go ahead and have a seat. The coffee's ready, and breakfast will be soon.
Thank you, Juliet. You're a treasure.
She pours herself a cup of coffee, even though she already had two before we left her apartment.
My pleasure. I'm glad to have a reason to cook.
Aspen nurses her drink, taking tiny sips while nearly dozing off against my shoulder. Julia finishes the food while I spread out the dishes across the table.
Thanks, love.
Aspen mumbles as I set her plate in front of her. Even with the coffee, it seems like she may fall asleep at any moment. I'm not sure she even knows what she said, but I heard her loud and clear. What do they call it? A pet name? It feels really good. If Silver was here, I'm sure she had a bunch of witty things to say about that. As I finish setting the table, Juliet brings a pot and a couple plates of food. Breakfast today is oatmeal with some fresh fruit and a waffle with syrup. That seems to get Aspen to perk up a little bit. After we finish eating and clear everything away again, she finally seems properly alert and awake. After another cup of coffee too, of course. I spent so much time with Aspen over the past day that she stand up to go to work. It takes me by surprise. I've forgotten she had to leave. When she says goodbye to Juliet, I walk with her to the door. Neither of us want to let go of the other, but eventually Aspen takes her first step outside.
Have a good day at work.
I will. Thank you for yesterday. And today. Even if I slept through most of it, it was nice to wake up beside you.
Yeah. We should do it again sometime.
Absolutely. After this weekend...
She searches for the words.
You'll be able to breathe again.
Exactly.
It seems like she might say more, but then with a small shake of her head, she gives me a goodbye kiss.
Bye, Miho.
See you soon.
I watch Aspen go until she disappears from sight. I go back to the kitchen to grab a drink, and I'm not surprised to see Juliet still sitting at the table. I'm so used to her going to bed with Aspen leaves.
Now you're gonna be extra tired too.
I sit down across from her and she chuckles, but there's a real concern in her eyes too.
So, I wasn't imagining it. Is she alright?
She's...
Not getting enough sleep, stressed out, pushing herself too hard.
She's Aspen.
Now Juliet really laughs.
Yes, fair enough. From the moment she told us about that conversation with her editor, I worried that something like this would happen.
Which part? How'd you know?
Juliet collects her thoughts before answering.
Before we met you, that book of hers was all Aspen could really think about. Even when we discussed books by other authors, it always came back to her own stories. And yet, for all the conversation and all the advice, I couldn't begin to tell you what her book is even about. Could you?
I shake my head.
I don't know anything about it either.
I thought not. Do you remember a few weeks ago when she first told us she'd sent in her manuscript?
Yeah. She was going to surprise us with good news, but changed her mind.
Indeed. At first, she didn't want us to know until she had the contract in hand. In other words, until she was sure it's good enough. She feels she has so much to prove, not just to herself, but the world. Chasing perfection that's unattainable. So much of her heart and soul has gone into those pages that I can't help but imagine she takes every rejection personally. As a rejection of her, and not just her work. Because in Aspen's eyes, I believe they're one and the same.
She said that this could be her only chance, and that's why she has to take it.
To Aspen, who's only ever seen one pathway forward to the future, I'm sure it seems that way. Even if from the outside, to you and I, that so clearly isn't true.
There's a bunch of other stuff she's good at too, besides writing. Like running a cafe or doing research. Those are things that even I know are useful.
Slumping down in my chair, I stare at the small ring of coffee on the table where Aspen's mug used to be.
I wish I could help her. She's done so much for me. But it was all I could do to even get her to sleep.
I'm sure that your presence and care for her helped more than you know. In the end, painful or not, it's up to Aspen to learn from her experiences. After all, it's one thing to know something from reading it in a book or hearing it from someone else. It's quite another to live through and experience something yourself. You and I can't grow for her. We can be there for her. Sometimes, a kind word and the knowledge that we aren't alone can be the support that we need. The strength must come from within ourselves. Whatever choices Aspen is faced with, only she can make them. All we can do is offer our comfort and guidance. And Miha?
I look up from the ground, meeting Juliet's gaze. Although she's not angry or upset, she's unusually serious.
Don't forget to care for yourself, too. It's easy to get caught up in the euphoria of love, which isn't a bad thing. But just as you cannot live Aspen's life for her, you cannot live your life solely for her sake either. By all means, love passionately, and deeply, and recklessly. But don't forget to live for yourself, too.
I find myself on the verge of saying I know, but catch myself. Instead, I just nod, because I also know that what Juliet herself has been through to find herself offering that advice. With a smile returning to her face, Juliet's serious demeanor lightens a little.
Well, now that I've prattled on for a while, I do think I'll get some rest of my own.
I manage to smile back.
Sleep
Excuse me.
tight.
Thank you.
She starts to exit the kitchen, but she passes me. Juliet pauses and then backtracks a step.
Perhaps it was just the light, but is there something different about your bead?
I didn't notice until you pointed it out.
Huh?
I haven't even looked at my necklace today. I take it off to see what Juliet's talking about. Oh, it's still glowing. No more or less brightly than it was yesterday, I think. By turning it over in my hand a few times, I noticed something. Sure enough, she's right.
Cracked.
There's a hairline fracture running across the part of my bead. It's so small that at first it looks like an eyelash or a piece of dust. But when I rub my finger over it, I can feel the subtle ridges, as well as a light tingling sensation, like my fingertip is falling asleep.
May I see it closer?
I hold out the necklace for her, angling it so she could get a clear view as possible. Of course, I can't let go or it would go back around my neck. Juliet starts to reach one hand for it, but then changes her mind, instead just leaning in close to examine. Finally, she shakes her head.
Unfortunately, I can't discern anything more than the obvious. Your magic remains foreign to me, like a book in an unknown language.
I can't help but be reminded of the scroll upstairs.
What do you think it could mean?
For a moment longer, she's quiet. Even before asking, I know the answer.
I don't know. But I don't think it's coincidence or random.
Me either.
I'm sure the frustration in my voice is obvious. It's always questions, questions, and rarely any answers. It's getting harder and harder to push them from my thoughts. Rather than repeat our goodbyes, Juliet places a reassuring hand on my shoulder.
I have faith that when the time is right, you'll know what to do. Trust in yourself. The same way you look at Aspen and don't understand how she undervalues herself. Slow progress is still progress.
I nod and she goes off to bed. Progress. I just wish I knew what it was progressing towards. Oh boy, we're gonna save. Because we haven't saved in a while. And time to go hang out with Lena. Oh boy, is it playtime? The rehearsals for the play carry on regularly over the month. We have at least one every week, and sometimes more. Although I don't go to every single one of them, I go to lots. Aspen and Juliet are probably more excited about it than I am, and I always encourage me before I go, even though I've told them several times that I'm not really participating that much. Out of the entire cast, there is definitely no one who works as hard as Lena or Cyrus do. Not only do those two have the most lines, but they have the most energy too, really. Cyrus has energy? That doesn't seem accurate. Considering how quiet Cyrus is, when he's not acting, watching, or hearing him perform with so much emotion is like seeing a whole new person. Even though the play isn't until December, more than a month away, neither of them ever slack off. When I'm there, I sometimes help out with things like organizing the props or handing out refreshments. The actual performance will be on a real stage, but we haven't been able to use one for the practice yet. Sometimes I do have to perform my part, which mostly means standing still in my costume, but sometimes having to move around. I'm not totally sure why they don't just use fake trees, but it's okay. Although I wasn't exactly looking forward to being a part of this at first, the more times I spend at rehearsal, the more fun I have. Even though I have to meet most of the cast every time, they all pretty friendly and easy to get along with, and even I can see the improvement that happens every week. Everyone is getting better, not just Lena and Cyrus. Occasionally other people in the park will stop by to watch for a bit, and they always clap or cheer when we're done or when they leave. Overall, the play is a nice distraction from the worries of my everyday life. It's nice to have one thing that I don't have to stress about. There's still a long way to go, but I know that just means we'll improve even more before the real thing. I'm surprised even myself. I'm looking forward to showing everyone just how hard we've been working. Hooray. Damn. It's late and the moon is high in the sky when there's suddenly a knock on my window. I burst up from the spot on the floor where I've been dozing. Why are we always laying on the floor? That's what I don't get.
What the?
In the darkness, it takes a moment for me to discern the face behind the glass. When I do, it turns out to be the last person I expect.
Silver?
I pull the window open to where Silver is perched on the branch of a nearby tree. Oh boy.
How did... Why not just use the door?
Come outside. I would speak with you.
Ignore my question. Like always, Silver stands up. I catch the corner of a cocky smile before she leaps from the branch, plummeting towards the ground below.
Hey!
Excuse me. Clutching the windowsill, I jam my head out the window, expecting to see her crumble on the grass. Instead, I'm just in time to watch her nimbly land on her feet and transform before running off into the darkness behind the library. With no time to wait or even think about it, I follow after her. Of course, I take the stairs and go out the front door first. I transfer right away and wrap around the building, expecting to have to chase after Silver, even though she came here. Instead, she hasn't gone far, just beyond the edge of the yard. She stands in her human form and stares out at the city below us. Many windows are dark, but many are illuminated too. The streetlight, the lamps stand lit, even with no one to use them. A warm yellow glow pushes away the darkness at the edges of town. Changing forms back as well, I walk over to stand beside her. Without looking at me, Silver extends an arm in front of hers, as if reaching for the city. It's her wrist with her bracelet on it, and her beads shine in the dark like another street lamp. Unhooking my necklace, I hold it out alongside hers. The glow of my bead is about as bright as hers. Scoffing, Silva lowers her arm and I put my necklace back on. I wait for her to start talking instead of saying anything myself. I find myself doing this a lot with Aspen and Julia as well. Although here it's different. Not only was Silver the one who came to me, but anything I would probably be ignored anyway. Sure enough, it isn't long before she twirls around to point a finger in my
Listen
face.
up, because I'm only going to tell you this once.
That's one more time than I usually get. I just nod, signaling for her to continue.
I simply couldn't watch you continue to wallow in ignorance. Whereas your magic causes those you encounter to forget about you, mine assists me in a different way. It tells me the truth of things, of people, human and fabled alike. To my eyes, their emotions are as colors. Fear, like everything else, has its own glow. I've seen it ignite in my presence, at my command. In this way, I've survived. The betrayal of their hearts is twofold. They reveal unseen feelings that they try to mask with words. And the hearts of men are fickle besides. I've seen boredom turn to cruelty, fear become hatred. This is what I see, and you do not. The truth that lies behind all promises and pretenses. Today's friends are tomorrow's bitter foes. You should know all this. I know what it's like to be one of us. I know what you've lived through. And yet, even now...
She cuts herself off and scoffs. Or maybe it's her choking something back.
What color is mine right now?
To give her an out, I ask a question instead. Her eyes narrow, but with concentration, not irritation. As I stand there, I match her gaze. This is the first time we've really spoken normally instead of her trying to pick a fight or hide from me. She's the first to look away, speaking to the ground.
The color of young spring.
The frick does that
It's
mean?
difficult to read the aura of our kind, requiring my concentration and focus. Even then, it's but a pale glow. With humans and most others, they cannot hide their light from me if they wanted to.
Like why you don't forget about me, right? Even though everyone else does.
She nods. I want to know what that color means to her. I also want to know why she's choosing to just tell me this after dodging everything else I've ever asked her. I'm sure she wouldn't tell me if I tried. But there is something else that I have to do, or I do have to ask, because I'm pretty sure I already know the answer.
Have you ever told anyone else?
Staring at the ground, it takes a long time before Silver shakes her head.
Thought so.
I don't think Silver's quite as old as I am, but she's still spent decades on her own, if not longer, just like me. In all that time, any chances I might have had to do something different or change something, I just let pass by me. I never had any idea what I might be missing. Besides me, Silver adjusts her mask and shifts her weight for her leg, for a good leg. She's about to transform and probably run away. She had to have some reason for bringing me out here, right? Was she hoping that I'd be the one to extend a hand? I think she'd get along with Aspen and Juliet when she had some time to warm up to them. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be having this conversation with her right now. Before she can change, I suddenly reach over and put my hand on Silver's shoulder. She stiffens and goes tense beneath my fingers, pulling away inconceivably fast. facing me from a few meters away. I don't need to be able to read auras to detect the anger emanating from her.
I'm sorry.
Damn it, that was dumb, even for me. I held my hands, trying to show that I won't do it again.
I just...
Just what? Wanted to help her? Saying that would definitely make her hate me. Instead, I clamped my jaw shut before I could make things worse. For a moment, her face softens and she looks torn. She dispels that by shaking her head.
We're even now.
Within seconds, she's a fox, and then she's part of the night, vanished into the darkness. This time, I don't even think about chasing her. I would have gotten upset too if one of my friends had done that to me early on, too, but I don't think she'll hold it against me, at least not any more than the rest of my existence. After all, I realized way too late, her coming here in the first place was already her reaching out. And if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that you can't rush these things.
I'm sorry. I hope I'll see you again soon.
I don't yell, but I don't whisper either. I'm pretty sure that she's still close enough to be able to hear me. I've done about much as I can. The rest is up to her. The first thing out of my mouth when I wake up is a sigh. Outside my window's lurky and murky gray morning, which feels like an omen. It's chilly, and I'm tempted to stay under the warm covers, but I force myself to get up and to get ready, and then go to breakfast. Julie and I chit-chat as we wait for Aspen to arrive, but she never does. By the time we finish eating, it seems pretty clear that Aspen won't be showering up. Ooh. Excuse me.
She must still be asleep.
Just like the morning that Cello and her friends left, I'm guessing that Aspen overslept. After Silver ran away last night, I was also kept awake with my thoughts for a while. I figured I'd be the last one to get to the kitchen. Aspen still has me beat, though. I try calling her, but it goes to voicemail. As soon as I hang up the phone, I return to my room. I put on my shoes and then leave the library, waving at Juliet when I pass by the dining room again. I'm sure she knew what I was going to do as soon as I did. I'm not too worried about Aspen, at least not any more than usual, but I have a feeling she could use the support right now. I knock on Aspen's door and wait. Silence. I knock again and wait. I knock a third time, harder. Finally, I hear a sleepy voice from inside.
I'm coming.
Oh. When the door finally opens, I'm relieved to see Aspen is alright, or at least upright and unharmed. She definitely isn't doing great, though. Her hair is a mess, and she still has a blanket wrapped around her. As she stares at me, blinking in the morning sun, she groans and holds a hand to her head.
Miho? God, what time? Ugh, come in.
I step inside gingerly, shutting the door behind myself. Inside, it's dark, with the curtains drawn and all the light off. Aspen immediately returns to her bed and lays down with another groan. As I walk toward the bed, my foot bumps against something on the floor. At first, I'm afraid it's one of the cats, but when I look down, I see it's actually an empty can. It rolls under the bed, all the same. In fact, there are a few of the empty cans around. I pick up one because I don't recognize the label, and can immediately identify it by smell as beer. Oh. I never had any alcohol, but I know enough about it just from TV and my travels. Oh god, Aspen is becoming an alcoholic. I sit down on the bed beside Aspen, who covered her face with a stuffed animal. Still, she manages to blindly fumble around with one hand until she finds and holds mine.
I'm late for breakfast, aren't I?
Yeah. I came to make sure you're okay.
She makes a sound that could be pain or just acknowledgement.
Sorry, you should have called. You didn't have to walk all the way here.
I tried.
Her other hand appears in the darkness, also fumbling around until she finds her phone, which is under a pillow, just like her.
Oops. I'm sorry. I slept right through it.
Looking around her room, I notice more than just the beer cans. Her laptop is on the floor, half closed. Notebooks and papers are scattered around the room, not just on the desk, but everywhere. Last time I was here, her apartment was messy. Today, it's a disaster.
It's okay. No big deal. I'm more worried about you than anything.
I'm fine. I'm fine. The only problem is I slept in so damn late. I was planning to call out of work anyway. I need the extra time to finish my edits. And I may have had a bit too much to drink last night, which I'm really paying for now.
I don't think you can call this fine.
She's having a midlife crisis. Gently, I lift the plushies away from Aspen's face.
Oh!
Although she groans and makes grabby hands at it, she doesn't really try to stop me. Instead, she looks up at me with red-rimmed eyes and manages a smile. Gesturing for me to come closer, I lean down and Aspen pulls me to kiss her. Her hand lingers on my cheek when I sit back up.
What if I said I was fine now?
I still wouldn't believe you.
Although she pretends to pout, Aspen doesn't try to deny it again. Since she's not in any shape to sit up, I lie down next to her instead. I can't help but notice the makeup stains on her pillow.
This is 2 days in a row now that I've gotten to wake up next to you. More or less. That's something good at least.
You missed out on breakfast today, though.
I'll take that trade.
She closes her eyes,
But
yawning.
that's also 2 days in a row that I've overslept. I'd actually meant to get an early start today and work on my book a bit before going up to the library.
You were gonna get up early? When did you go to bed?
Aspen and I had already said goodnight to each other before Silver showed up at my window, and that was somewhere around midnight.
I don't remember. It's a little fuzzy, you know. I'm in the final stretch, though. I can afford to sacrifice a little sleep.
Maybe if it was just sleep. And just a little.
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? Even Juliet can tell how exhausted you are all the time.
Even Juliet, Besides, it's only a couple more days. I have to finish and send it in by the end of Sunday, and then...
And then...
Then... everything can go back to normal. Like my sleep schedule. Then it'll be out of my hands and someone else's problem.
It's gonna be that easy? You'll just never have to think about your book again.
Well, no, of course, not like that. I hope not, at least. Unless the changes still aren't what they're looking for. But I don't even want to consider that. Oh God, I do not want to consider that. There'll be more work to do, of course. More writing and more editing. Hopefully not as much editing. I struggled a lot this time around because it was so different from the original manuscript and not the kind of thing I usually write. But once I got the hang of it, it started being easier. So I think next time around shouldn't be as difficult because I already know what they're looking for.
She has to stop and take a deep breath to continue talking.
That's not counting all the other stuff like paperwork and promotion and all that, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, rights and licensing too. That's another thing to think about, but later. The first time I do all that might be tough, but it should also get easier, just like the editing. I've done a lot of research and...
Aspen.
It does make sense, given what the best-selling trends have been lately. Usually I'm more into...
Aspen!
With a tiny hic, she cuts off mid-sentence.
Okay, I know that sounds like a lot, but...
Aspen, you can't keep doing this to yourself.
I don't like interrupting her, but I know where this is going. At my words, she does stop and gazes up at the ceiling before speaking in a very small voice.
What else can I do, though? I know how hard it is to understand from the outside, but that's what it's like to be an artist. Opportunity rarely knocks twice, as they say. It could be years before I have another chance like this, if ever. Some things are worth persevering through. So what if I have to call out of work a couple times or miss some sleep? That won't matter in the long run. When there's a line of people waiting for a midnight release at the bookstore or posting fan fiction online, someday I'll forget all the bad stuff that happened, or even look back and laugh. Someday it'll be worth it.
Someday?
She nods.
But who cares about someday when you're miserable now, love?
It feels strange to call her that, but also right. Just like when she said it to me, and it seems like it works. I hear her breathe catch in her throat, and even as she turns to face me, again I can see the glimmer of tears in her eyes. More than ever, I wish I knew what to say that could help her. If Juliet was here, I'm sure she had some great advice to offer. It's hard for me to understand what it is she's going through. On the other hand, it's really easy to see how it's affecting her.
I know, I'm the last person who should tell someone how to spend their time. But it can't be worth feeling like this all the time, just so maybe someday it'll be better, right? Even if I don't know anything about writing or books or any of that, all of those next steps you talked about sound just as bad. You used to be so excited about your book, but now it just makes you sad all the time. If it would really get better after this weekend, that'd be one thing, but it wouldn't, would it?
Aspen slowly shakes her head. Tears silently roll down her face onto her pillow and hair. Let's get closer so that our foreheads are touching. Even then I can barely hear her as she whispers,
I know.
"Oh."
I know that you're right and it won't get easier, but I'm right too. All those things I said about maybe not getting another chance, or about how it's never easy for anyone, they're true as well. I wish it wasn't. I wish this wasn't my only choice because it's not even mine anymore. It's not my story or characters, it's something else. And I don't know what else to do. If my original story was any good, it wouldn't have been rejected so many times, or needed so many changes. And they're not bad changes either, they make sense, they're just not mine.
Are you really okay with that?
For all of about 2 seconds, she holds my gaze. Then Aspen truly bursts into tears. It might be her most honest answer yet. Her whole body shakes as she cries, and I do look and I can to hold her. The two cats hop up to the bed, concerned and investigating. The corners of my eyes burn too, not for myself but for Aspen, and from the helplessness I feel, but also I recall what Juliet said, that this is something Aspen has to go through herself.
I don't know if I am. I don't know. I thought I was. Kept telling myself I was, but...
It's hard for her to speak in between sniffles and snobs. I just let her cry against me, doing what I can do. I could be there for her. She doesn't need to finish her sentence anyway. We both already know the answer. I stroke her hair and try to think of how to piece together what I want to say to her. It's tough because I know I don't have anything that could be helpful or might solve a problem. All I can do is be honest.
I don't know the difference between good and bad writing, of course. I've only ever read one book. But I still really like that book. Enough to read it again and again yesterday. And the only reason I could even do that is because you and Juliet seem to like books so much that I had to try them too. Spending hours hunched over that desk, copying those letters a million times, I wouldn't have done that for just anyone, you know? I'm glad I did, though. It was worth it just to be able to read The Fox in the Grove, even though I already knew the story. That was something I never understood before. Why anyone would want to read a book more than once. You already know what's going to happen. but because it makes me think of you. And that you wrote it just for me to be able to read. I don't think I'll ever be able to like a book more.
Wiping her eyes, she manages a shaky sigh that might be a laugh.
Well, I can't complain about that kind of critical reception.
Her sobs have gone back to being sniffles and hiccups, and she's slowly able to catch her breath. The pillow that we share is soaked with her tears, but I barely notice. The two cats are still nearby, and she scoops them up and pulls them towards her as well.
You guys are worried too, huh?
They both meow in protest as Aspen brings them to our hug. There isn't really room, but Aspen manages to squeeze them in. They immediately drop or hop away though, and she doesn't try to stop them.
Not too worried, I see.
We snuggle for a bit longer, and then for the first time she got out of bed. Aspen sits back and rubs her eyes. I sit up too, and she casually leans against me as she looks around. It's a lot brighter now than it was when I got here, even though the curtains...
It's a bit of a mess here, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah.
Aspen reaches down and picks up one of the empty beer cans, examining it before tossing it into the recycling bin.
Tasted awful anyways.
I didn't even know you like beer.
I don't.
Another can is one of Aspen's nightstands, and she chucks that into the bin as well, before gathering some of the scattered papers around the apartment. I help clean, throwing away anything that looks like trash, and organizing anything that doesn't. Aspen takes care of all that, replacing her laptop on her desk and tidying some of the clutter. Finally, she opens the curtains and we sit back down. I wait for her to say something since there still hasn't been any resolution. I don't have to wait very long.
I'm going to send an email to Avery and tell them I've changed my mind. And that I'm not interested in making the changes they wanted.
Wait, you've already decided that?
I'm happy to hear her decision, but I wasn't expecting it to come this fast. What she could do is, take the barista job, right? Where she manages her own store. She could write her books her way and just print them out for people to read at the coffee shop.
I have to give them an answer soon, one way or another. To be honest, I was already thinking about it, and have been for days. In my heart, I think it's what I've wanted to say this whole time. I kept telling myself that I should just try a little harder and power through. I could probably do that if I put my mind to it. But there was something you said earlier. And as soon as you said it, I knew you were right, because it was something I was trying not to admit to myself. That somewhere along the way, something I love had turned into something I dread. I pictured myself continuing down that path. If I lost that love forever, would it be worth it? It might be. It might not. There's no telling how it would go. But you're right that I have something to live for right now. And someone to love. And so I think maybe that much is enough. More than enough, even.
Aspen leans in and I do too, closing my eyes in anticipation. The relief that floods through me as I hear Aspen's words is like a glass of water after a long run. Pausing just inches from my lips, Aspen whispers just one more thing before we kiss.
I have everything I need right here.
The two of us linger around Aspen's apartment for a while longer. I play with the cats while Aspen collects herself and eventually manages to send off her email. Around lunchtime, we head to the Bell House for Aspen's midday shift.
Are you sure you want to go to work today? You said you were going to call out.
I'm sure. It'll be nice to have the distraction. Sorry to leave you on your own, though.
It's alright. I'll figure out something to do.
I study Aspen's face. Her eyes are still red and puffy, although her glasses help hide that. She still seems fragile, but I feel less worried about her more than that.
See you tomorrow then?
Maybe. I might just need a day alone. Not that being with you doesn't help me feel better, but I just have a lot of thinking to do.
I understand. We can hang out again when you're ready.
I'll see you on Halloween for sure.
Cool.
Aspen adjusts her glasses and removes her hat, preparing to go change into her uniform.
Well, I'm going to go clean myself up a bit before my shift starts. I can't let Lena see me like this.
You sure you'll be okay?
Yes, I have lots of practice at keeping myself together. That's all customer service really is.
Alright. See you later then.
Goodbye, Miho. I love you.
Love you too.
After a final kiss, she goes inside and start to start her shift. To start her shift. Jesus. It's been an emotional day already, and it's barely half over. Despite that, I feel optimistic as I walk away from the cafe. I'm so concerned about Aspen, but I know she'll be okay in the long run. There's a long road ahead, but things are looking up. Oh boy. It's Tommy and Gwen. I continue to see Tommy and his family fairly regularly. Of course, I hear from the three of them every day just to maintain their memories. It makes my daily check-ins take a little while, but that's okay. Gwen also comes to the library to study several times a week, sometimes by herself and sometimes with Tommy. When Elijah drops by to return the books he borrowed, he mentions that he wasn't able to learn much about Gerby like he hoped, but that he thinks Gerby comes from somewhere other than the underworld like I do. That would explain why it's harder for him to find information about him. Reminds me a bit of Aspen and Juliet trying to find out more about my bead and magic. At least in that case, there's Silver to help explain some things. At least grudgingly. As for Tommy, it seems like he's doing okay. I don't hear anything else about him getting into fights. For one thing, when he's at the library, he either looks for bugs or just reads a book at the table with his mom. Slowly but surely, the three of them, four if you count Gerby, have slipped into their own routine. I hope Elijah was right when he said that things between them will just have to get better with time. After eating breakfast with Juliet, I have to figure out how to spend a day without Aspen. We had a quick video call this morning where she said she still needs a day to herself to just unwind and think and cry. I wish that I could be there to comfort her, but I also understand why she needs to be alone for a while. She's learning those hard lessons for herself, like Juliet said. I see her tomorrow, but I can't let today go to waste. Juliet finds me in the kitchen, looking out the back window.
Is something out there?
Nah. Just thinking about what I want to do today. Aspen's not feeling very good.
In the shade of the big tree in the backyard, there are a couple birds hopping around, looking for worms. That gives me an idea.
Could I go see that bird we rescued? The one your friend picked up.
You can certainly visit the preserve. Although I couldn't say if they'd be able to point you to our friend in particular. There are quite a lot of other birds who call it home.
That's fine. I can look for it on my own.
Of course. It's a bit of a walk, but there's a shuttle that can take you most of the way.
Juliet shows me where to find the shuttle, and I use my phone to guide me there. I don't have to wait long until it arrives, and I climb on the board. The driver takes us in the direction of the Bell House and Aspen's apartment. I've walked down these roads so many times that it feels strange to see them rush by out the window, like I'm fast-forwarding through a TV show. At some point, we take a turn that I've never taken before, and soon we're going through areas that are new to me. I watch them go by, not paying attention to commit them to memory. Eventually, I stop and disembark. As I get my first whiff of the clean air, I understand why it's a preserve. As far as I can see, the land is covered in forests. Not just greens, but forests, grown so thick that it looks like a solid wall of green. The only exception is a river that winds through the hills, where the water is crystal clear and still. The nearby botanic gardens were lovely, but this is something else. This is something more. I miss traveling to new places. I'm glad to have settled down. It reminds me of my days in the wild, running free. Although those were good times, I prefer the simplicity and security of my daily life that I have established. I quietly pay for my ticket and then hurry out as fast as I can. I see why Juliet said they wouldn't be able to help me find my bird. There are tons of places it could be, but that doesn't mean I can't try. Maybe if I found the person who took the bird in, they know what happened to it. I might have better luck just looking for it myself, though. It's a big place, I decide. Too big for me to try explore on my own. I should just look for Juliet's friend, Amaya. And I should have asked Juliet how to contact her before I left. I'm sure Juliet's asleep by now, and I don't want to disturb her. Besides, it's not like I'm in a hurry. Taking my time, I try to see as much as I can. It's not crowded, but the preserve is far from empty too. There are just as many fabled as there are human. Some I recognize, like a fawn and a dryad. I wonder if the trees make any of them feel like I do, if any of them have a story like I do, come from some place like far away like I do. There are kids too, human kids with their teachers, being led around by tour guides. Lots of them look excited to be here. I hope maybe they can learn to love it all as well. I asked some of the guides or instructors if they know who and where Amaya is. Some of them have no idea what I'm talking about. Some know her, but not her location. Finally, I find someone who's able to point me in the right direction. I end up back near where I started, near the edge of the river. Sure enough, the lady from before is there, talking with another guest. I wait until they finish their conversation before I approach.
Excuse me.
Hi, how can I help you?
A few weeks ago, you picked up a hurt bird from my friend Juliet. I was wondering if you could tell me where it is now.
Oh, right. That poor guy. I'm afraid the little fellow didn't make it.
Damn.
I think that when he took the tumble that hurt his leg, he must have hurt something inside him, too.
Oh.
It's dead. I haven't even thought about that possibility. The whole time I just assumed it'd be alive, that it had gotten better.
It's sad, but it's the way of nature sometimes. Mind if I ask how you were involved?
Naturally, she doesn't remember me being there.
I was the one who found it and brought it to Juliet's. I wasn't around when you picked it up, though.
Oh, right. Well, you can sleep easy and know that you did what you could.
She sounded so casual about it. I guess she's probably experienced this a lot. Meanwhile, I don't know what to say. I just stand there surprised. It was just a bird, sure, but that's still something. For the bird, it was everything. Amaya starts to walk away, but before she can leave, there's something I want to know. Something I've never given much thought to before, but that my recent times with Silver has made me wonder about.
Hey, I have a question.
Shoot.
Do you believe in fate?
She stares at me in mild shock. It's a weird thing to ask, I know, but I hold her gaze and don't back down.
Now there's a question.
Looking past me at the water, she takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly.
If you're asking if I think there's a world out there where that bird survives or never gets hurt to begin with, then sure, maybe. I'm not smart enough to know, but it's not this one. Destiny, luck, whatever you want to call it. Life's unfair, that's a fact. It doesn't care about any one of us. Sometimes you can do everything right, and it just isn't enough. I don't think that's destiny personally, that's just being alive. Being here, doing what I can to help who I can, that's just me playing my part in life. If that's because some invisible force led me, then it doesn't change anything. Bigger picture or not, it's what I choose to do with my time right now. And I choose to believe that makes a difference. Hope that helps.
Thanks.
Don't mention it. Say hi to Juliet for me, will you?
Yeah, no problem.
Once again, she starts to walk away, and this time I don't stop her. Instead, I walk out to the nearby gazebo and sit down, surrounded by quiet water. Even though her reasoning was totally different, I can't help but think about how Amaya pretty much said the same thing Silver did. It was just a bird, and that's just life. Silver who wanted to let it die, and Amaya who tried to help it live. I wonder how Silver would feel if she heard the news. I'm sure she'd pretend not to care, but she did follow me all the way back to the library just to see. On the other hand, Amaya didn't seem all that upset. I could tell she didn't know why it mattered to me. Like always, it's hard for me to answer that question myself. I know how nature works as well as either of them. I know better than to expect it to care. It doesn't mean I can't though, even if no one else sees it. That bird was still as alive as we were. Maybe it didn't read books or drink coffee or watch TV, but it still existed. It ate and flew and sang. Whew. The forest on Mount Victoria will be a little more quiet from now on. Even if nobody notices, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference myself. I know it's not like the bird and I were friends. Still, whenever I go back, I'll think about it. And think about the tree that used to be its home. The nest that it'll never return to. Sighing, I stand up and start walking again. Despite how it turned out, I'm still glad I came to this place. Still glad it exists. It might not be perfect, but it's doing the best it can. The end of October arrives with a brisk morning chill. I take my time waking up, enjoying the comfortable warmth of my bed. Like always, outside my window, the leaves and branches shake with the breeze, but they can't reach me in here. From downstairs, the warm smell of coffee wafts up, promising me refreshment and energy. Something else drifts up, too, something even better. The comfortable sound of Aspen and Juliet chatting in the dining room. How long has it been? Weeks at least. The past few times that Aspen has been here for breakfast, she's been too preoccupied to really have a good time. But even from up here, I can hear the sound of her laughter like a bell. Smiling, I get myself up and ready for the day. I hope October will take our worries with it as well. Alrighty, I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to save right here. Because I need to make coffee. Because I myself am falling partially asleep. So, sorry about that. But I will be right back. Alrighty, I'm back. My cup of coffee. Okay, here we go. And a stupid fly in my room. I head downstairs and we go through the usual smiles and greetings, plus the usual chit-chat as we eat. Eventually, we clear away our plates and just sit comfortably together like we used to.
So, Miho, today will be your first holiday, correct?
Yep. The first one I've paid attention to, at least. I don't really know what Halloween is about, though.
It depends, really. In some parts of the world, it's a time to honor the dead. In many others, it's simply a time to celebrate the season and have fun.
Most of the time it's about sweets and costumes. I'm sure there'll be plenty of trick-or-treaters coming by tonight.
What's that?
It's where kids put on costumes and go door to door, and the people who live there hand out candy.
For free?
Don't get any ideas.
Too late.
I picked up some bags of candy earlier, so there will be plenty to give out. Halloween is usually a busy night here, as you said. Will the two of you be here? Or do you have other plans?
Aspen and I look at each other and I shake my head.
I don't have anything else.
Neither do I. So I think it's safe to say we'll be around.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. It's good to see you looking so well, Aspen. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Me too. I'm still not quite back to 100%, but I'm getting there.
Have you decided what you're going to do?
Not entirely. I've decided that I'll put aside writing for a while, though. At least writing for anyone other than myself. I think I need to remember why I started doing it in the first place. After that, maybe I can start to think about publishing again, and manuscripts. That could be in a month, or in a year, or even several years.
Under the table, Aspen takes my hand.
For once, I'm not in any rush.
Juliet looks at us fondly. Compared to a couple days ago, she looks relieved. It's clear that I wasn't the only one who was worried about Aspen.
That's good. I hope you'll take all the time that you need.
The three of us make plans for the evening, settling on a time that we'll be back at the library. Juliet departs for bed, and Aspen and I remain at the table. Aspen slouches, looking up at the ceiling with a contented sigh.
I can't remember the last time I had a morning like this. Not just with you and Juliet, but where I don't wake up feeling like I've already fallen behind in the day. No plans, no obligations.
She squeezes my hand.
Just us.
I've missed days like that too.
I know I've said it, but I'm sorry for worrying the two of you so much. And for being so distracted all the time. And for several other things that I'm sure will come to mind soon.
I shake my head.
Don't be sorry. I know you were trying really hard because of how important writing is to you.
Yes, well, there are other things that are important too. I can't let myself miss out on all those. Like this.
Aspen leans over and kisses me on the cheek.
Okay. That is pretty important.
She laughs.
Glad you agree. There was one thing I wanted to do today, actually. And I was hoping you would join me.
Of course. What is it?
Aspen stands up and fetches a couple heavy books that are sitting on the counter, bringing them over to where we are. I recognize them as coming from Aspen's apartment, instead of being part of the library's collection. They make a heavy thud as she sets them on the table.
Something Mum and I used to do when I was a kid. Although it's been a few years now.
She takes one of the books and opens it up, flipping through the pages quickly but carefully. I watch from over her shoulder until she finally stops.
Here we are.
Near the middle of the book, there's something tucked into the pages. Aspen delicately lifts up for me to see.
Ooh.
It's a flower, but it's flat and dry. The petals look as dry and delicate as the paper they were stuck between.
Every summer, we'd go out and pick flowers to press. Isn't it pretty?
It is.
She offers it to me, and I take it very carefully. It's practically weightless, and feel like it could blow out of my hands at any second.
We used to do it to celebrate the end of each school year. Although it's not quite the same, lately I've been reminded of that feeling. One chapter ending, and another beginning. So, if you're up for it, I thought perhaps we could go find some flowers of our own.
I'd love to.
Great! Let's be off then.
I let her lead the way outside. We search for a while looking at any flowers that Aspen thinks will work. There are plenty in people's gardens, but she says we're not allowed to take those. We try the park, the mountain, and even the sides of the roads, but nothing we find meets Aspen's standards. Finally, after going around a big chunk of town, we spot a hidden grove near the waterfront that seems perfect. There are several different types of flowers, all in bloom. We walk over and stop just at the edge of the patch.
These should do. What do you think?
They look really pretty. But I thought that about the other ones we saw too.
It's not just about how pretty they are. They need to be the right shape and size as well. These ones check all the boxes. Go ahead and choose some that look nice to you. Then you can snip off the tops with these.
She hands me a pair of scissors.
I don't know how to decide. They all look nice to me.
It should be easy then. It's best if they're kind of flat though. Remember to only take the top so that the rest of the plant can grow back.
I watch her pick a couple so that I can make sure I'm doing it right. Aspen only chooses flowers that are in the middle of the big patches, instead of the ones that are alone. After a bit, I wander off to select my own. Both of us move around carefully, making sure not to step on anything delicate. There are some that look like the ones Aspen already had in her book, which reminds me of the flowers you can buy at the store. The sweet aroma isn't as strong as it would be if it were a fox, but it's still nice. There are others that I've never seen before, but catch my eyes as I'm deciding. Both kinds seem like they should work, so I'm not sure which to choose. The new ones, the familiar ones. Let's see. Familiar? I just go with the flowers that are similar to Aspen's. I think they look nice next to the one she's carrying now, and should fit right in with the one she already pressed. Imitating what I saw Aspen do, I snip a few buds and then bundle them. Make sure not to crush or damage them. I rejoin Aspen, who's finishing up too. She inspects my collection.
Oh, those are beautiful. Good choice. Are you all set?
Yeah. Ready if you are.
The two of us return to the library, and the book's waiting for us there.
So, how do we do this?
It's quite simple, really. There are lots of ways to press flowers, but this method is the easiest. All you have to do is take your book.
Aspen grabs one of the heavy books she brought and opens it to somewhere in the middle.
Put a piece of paper in here like this for the moisture.
She folds a plain sheet of paper in half and slides it in where the pages meet.
Then you place your flowers on top and close the book. And that's it. Easy, right?
To demonstrate, she arranges a few of the buds she selected, spacing them out like cookies on a sheet. Once she's satisfied, she shuts the book.
Oh, I can do that.
I take one of the others and repeat the process. When I close the front cover, the pages smush down the colorful flowers. Aspen puts both books side by side on the counter.
How long does it take? Should we come back later?
Longer than that. A few days, if not weeks. We want to get all the water squeezed out.
That long?
I'm afraid so. Mum always said the waiting was half the fun, because it gave you something to look forward to.
I'm not sure about that.
I tend to agree. There is a certain charm to it, though. I first learned about pressing flowers when I bought a book from a second-hand store that had a few left behind by a previous owner. They must have forgotten all about the flowers. They were bone dry, even more than the ones I showed you, and they'd stained the pages. They were still beautiful, though, and made my copy unique. I left them in there to this day on my shelf. It seemed wrong to remove them after so long.
What do you do with the ones you make?
Decorate, mostly. They make for nice accessories, or bookmarks, or even look nice on their own.
I can't wait to see.
Me either. Here, there are still a few left.
Aspen and I each have a couple flowers remaining, so she grabs another book and opens it up. She flips through the pages, getting closer to the middle, and then suddenly stops. Nestled alongside a few flowers, there's a folded up paper with Aspen's name on it.
What's that?
She stares silently for a long time and then gently removes everything. The flowers are almost entirely brown and fragile, except for a few splotches of white on the petals. Aspen sets them aside.
It looks like I did some forgetting too. I must have put these here years ago.
What about the paper?
There's another sheet in there that everything sat on top of, so the one with her name must not be the one to suck up the water. She gently removes the page in question. It's stained brown like the flowers, and sticks as she tries to take it out, but eventually gives away. It crackles in her hand as she turns it over a few times. Carefully unfolding it, Aspen holds the paper where she can read it.
It's a letter to my future self. I used to write them occasionally. Most got lost or thrown out ages ago, but it figures that I'd find one here and now.
What's it say?
I'm a little afraid to find out.
She clears her throat.
Dear Miss Benoit,
She gives me a sidelong glance.
I wish I just used my first name. I can't tell you how tired I am of reading letters that start like that. Anyway, I am writing this on the evening of my 13th birthday. In case you have forgotten, today I began writing my first novel.
Dang.
By the time that you read this, I expect that you have half a dozen or more complete aside from this one.
Oof. Again, Aspen looks at me.
As you can see, I used to be even more obnoxious when it came to writing. Mother suggested that I compose this letter in order to look back and reflect on how far I have come. I'm keeping my goals modest so that I might surprise myself in the future. Right now, there are many questions that I have. What was university like? Have you gotten married yet? How many other famous authors have you met? Have you made more friends? I hope that you have moved to a bigger city. Mother says someday I will appreciate our town more, but I don't believe her. There is not a single thing that I will miss from here after I've left, other than my parents, of course. I have been looking at possibilities for studying abroad when I am older, and am focusing on my academics to help facilitate that. When you read this, I wonder if you will remember writing it. I hope that you are laughing about how much better your life is than I am imagining now. Yours truly, Aspen Benoit.
After she finishes reading the letter out loud, Aspen silently rereads it a few more times. Then she places it back where it came from, alongside the dry flowers and the rest that were picked together. Then she closes the book.
Young Aspen got a few things right and a few things wrong, it seems. I'm over half a dozen books late, apparently. Modest goals, indeed. I don't really remember writing that particular letter. At least not too clearly. But for all the wishes that didn't come true, and all the things that I'm sure past me would be disappointed in current me for, it does make me smile to read it again.
I think that's the most important part.
I quite agree. It might not be the future I was imagining, but still, I wouldn't trade the present I have for anything.
Aspen and I cleaned up the leaves and trimmed stems, sweeping them into the garbage. Then we stacked the books and put them on a high shelf where they'll be safe and out of the way. We both stare up at them, full of memories, new and old.
That's enough of the past, for now. Come on, we have a whole day to enjoy.
Aspen places a hand on my shoulder and kisses my cheek, and then leads me out of the kitchen. I follow her out into the bright sunlight.
Right behind you.
And then they got flashbanged. As the day winds down and starts to get darker, a light breeze starts to pick up. Not enough to be cold, but enough to make me glad I have my jacket. Aspen, Juliet, and I sit out on the front porch with the lights on, watching the road.
How long until people start showing up?
Soon, I'd imagine. The early evening is when most trick-or-treating begins.
They'd better hurry, before Miho eats all the candy.
Can't argue with that.
I unwrap another piece and stuff it into my mouth, shoving the wrapper into my pocket with a bunch of others.
Maybe if you go knocking on doors, you could convince people you're a kid in a costume too. That way you could get your own candy.
I have a feeling Miho's gonna be like, "That's a great idea, let's go do that." And then she runs off.
Do you think that would work?
Oh god. It's hard to talk with my mouth full of chocolate and caramel.
No, but it's funny to imagine.
Oh, look! Here come a few of them now.
I bet it's Tommy. Sure enough, a group of 3 kids appear at the bottom of the hill and start making their way up towards us. I stand up, the giant bowl in my hand.
Oh, how cute!
Excuse me. Never mind. I guess it's not Tommy. One of the kids has a white sheet draped over them with big holes cut out for the eyes. The other 2 are dressed like characters I've seen on TV. The 3 of them hold out open pillowcases, and I toss handfuls of candy into each one.
Here you go.
The one with the big eyes goes even more wide-eyed.
That's a lot. Thanks a bunch. Wait, was it? Should I take some back?
Aspen swats at me gently.
You can't do that.
The 3 kids hurry off, probably afraid that I was really going to reach in and reclaim some of the candy. I sit back down.
How much am I supposed to give them?
Usually a piece or 2, but it's not a problem. We still have several unopened bags inside.
Oh, I will be right back. Alright. Ba 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 ba.
Great.
I grab another piece for myself and munch on it.
Well, in that case.
Aspen reaches over and picks out a couple candies for herself too. It isn't long before the next batch of kids shows up, with another close behind them. The second group even has some parents accompanying them. Jesus. It gets later and later, but more kids start arriving rather than less. I hand out candy until my arms get tired, and Aspen takes over. More than once, Julia has to go inside and get more bags of candy to refill the bowl.
This is more work than the library on a busy day.
Even my first day of work, when Aspen helped me run the desk, felt less busy than this evening does. But also, it's a lot of fun. Many of the kids have creative costumes, and I even recognize some of the characters they're dressed as. The less creative costumes are still cute too, and it's nice seeing so many happy smiles as they walk away. It's not until the noon is high in the sky that the trick-or-treaters stop showing up. We can still hear the occasional whoop and shout from the streets nearby, but no one else comes up the path. The big bowl of candy is nearly empty, with less than a full layer left behind. A bunch of empty bags fill one of the recycling bins in the end. We manage to go through all of the candy Julia bought. After about 10 minutes without any more kids, we finally get up from the porch.
I believe we can call it a night.
That was certainly the busiest Halloween I've ever been a part of.
Really? I didn't know if that was normal or not.
For Welly, maybe. But I don't get many trick-or-treaters at my apartment. And back home, there are like maybe 5 kids in town at any given time.
More candy for you.
Speaking of which, I hope I can count on the two of you to finish off the leftovers we have here.
You don't even have to ask.
I'd better take what I can before Miho claims it all for herself, shouldn't I?
Not if I beat you to it anyway.
Laughing, the three of us clean everything up and then finally head back inside the library.
That was quite fun, but I do think I'm ready for bed. Is something wrong?
Oh. I barely register her words. Something is wrong, but I don't know what. As soon as I walk through the front door, I can tell, but I can't place what it is.
Miho?
Both of them stop walking, watching me with concern. Finally, it hits me.
It's cold.
It's cold.
It doesn't take me long to spot the source. One of the windows near the shelves, not far from Aspen's usual table, is wide open. The curtains flutter with the breeze. The two of them follow my line of sight.
Oh, did we forget to close this? But then, that doesn't make sense, does it? Why would we have just opened one of the windows?
We wouldn't. That window was definitely shut earlier.
It's Halloween. Maybe some kids snuck in here as a prank. Is anything missing?
The three of us look around, inspecting the shelves, front desk, and everything in between. If something's gone, it's not immediately visible.
I can't see anything out of the ordinary.
Me either.
Yeah.
Something still doesn't sit right with me.
I'm gonna go look upstairs.
The other two follow behind me. Juliet goes to check her office, but appears untouched. Aspen waits at the top of the stairs, watching. Meanwhile, I go to my room. Grabbing the handle, I push the door open and turn on the lights. I can hardly believe what I see. My window is open too. My bed sheets and pillows are strewn across the floor like someone climbed across the bed. What few other possessions I have are also scattered around the room as if a tornado has blown through.
Miho? Is something amiss?
I can hear both of them hurrying my way as I remain frozen in the doorway. Behind me, Aspen gasps as she gets a glimpse of my room.
Why?
I have a feeling I already know the answer to one of those questions, but not the other. Stepping inside, I mechanically pick up my things and put them back where they belong. Everything is here except for
My scroll!
that little piece of paper. The only belonging that I really care about is nowhere to be seen. I check under my bed and in every nook and cranny just to be sure it's gone. The fact is all of the confirmation I need.
Back.
I push my way past Aspen and Juliet's shocked faces and dash back downstairs. Both Aspen and Juliet shout after me as I barrel out of the library, but I ignore them both. The instant I'm outside, I transform and keep running. There's no question or doubt as to who took my scroll. The question is why. As angry as I could be, I forced myself to stamp that feeling down, at least until I know Silver's reasons. The path to Mount Victoria is more crowded than I've ever seen it. Both the roads and sidewalk are full of people, mostly parents with their kids. Some of them point or cheer as I run past, but I don't give them a second thought. None of them try to stop me or get in my way. By the time I climb the mountain and reach Silver's part of the forest, it's dark. She isn't in any of her usual spots, but I can sense that she isn't far away. Rising through the darkness, I keep my nose near the ground, hot on her trail. Then suddenly, just like last time, I find her. She moves in darkness, a patch of shadow that's different color than the rest. Her bead glows as vibrant as ever, illuminating her wrist. It shines on the unfurled paper in her hand. Like always, she waits with her back to me.
So you came.
Of course I did! Give me back my scroll!
I keep my distance but reach out my hand, just a few steps away. Excuse me. Tilting her head to look up at the starry sky. No, not the sky, the trees. I follow her gaze upwards and realize something. I've been here before. I recognize this tree. It's the one the bird fell from. That makes me pause. Has she been wondering about it all this time? Is this her way of asking? She did follow me all the way home. I soften my voice, but know that I may as well be blunt.
It died, you know. They weren't able to save it.
Her posture doesn't change, but the subtle light of her bracelet, I can see her fingers clench the edge of my scroll more tightly.
I met the woman who rescued it. She said the same thing that you did. That's just how nature is.
Silence. Gritting my teeth, I try to contain my growing frustration. Normally I can tolerate her silence, but tonight, instead of just coming to talk like she knows I would, she steals my most beloved possession and makes me chase her out here. Well, so she can ignore me.
Don't you have anything to say? You must have come here for a reason, didn't you?
More silence. Not even a breeze disturbs it. Finally, I've had enough. I step forward, snapping a branch beneath my shoes.
Hey! Answer me, damn it! Stop acting like you don't care about anything!
That gets her attention. She looks at me over her shoulder, face hidden except for her eyes, and then she faces me.
Were you to happen upon another burn, more broken than the first, would you still try to save it?
Of course.
Even knowing that your effort is likely to be futile?
Yeah, even then. At least there's a chance it would work out.
You speak like a human, fighting against the inevitability of death. While we could watch the river of life from its shores, you choose to struggle upstream. Why?
Why? Because otherwise it all just passes by. I did what you said and watched from the shores for so long because I didn't even think about joining it. But once I did, once I let someone pull me in, I realized I like it more this way. It's hard sometimes. I haven't even been trying that long, but those hard times just help me appreciate the good ones more. Or if there's someone I met who was also afraid of getting hurt, and someone else who was afraid of just passing by. They showed me that those are parts of life too, just like death is for a lot of people. Who cares about living forever if you don't care about being alive? Immortal or not, it's all we have. You and me, my friends, that bird, it's the same for all of us. I could have run away. I thought about it a million times. It would have been a lot easier than staying. But I did stay. And so now, here I am. Someone took a chance on me once too. Even if I wouldn't have died, they still saved my life in a way. I thought it would be impossible for someone like me, like you and me, that it wasn't even worth the effort to try and change things. But I was wrong. And I'm glad that I was. And so that's why I do the same thing all over again, with the burn. Because if there's even a chance, it's worth trying.
Although I don't say it, I can't help but think even talking like this is something relatively new for me, unlike Silver, who starts more like Aspen's old books most of the time. It just goes to show that there are lots of different paths our lives could have taken, but they both brought us here together. While Silver is still thinking about what I said, her eyes suddenly go wide. At the same time, I feel something warm on my neck. Holding my necklace where I can see it, both Silver and I just stare as my bead brightens before our eyes. The glow intensifies to the point that Silver has to shield her eyes and look away, although somehow it doesn't bother me. I also watch as another eyelash thin crack appears, and then another. For a moment I half expect it to just shatter, but it stops after the third crack, still holding itself together. The light from it also dims a little bit, but it's still brighter than it was when I let go, and it falls back against my neck. My bead feels heavier than normal too. Silver is able to look at me again, and though the shock has faded from her expression, her eyes still stay fixated on my bead. She laughs, but it's humorless. Shaking her head, she continues to stare at my necklace instead of my eyes.
I had hoped that by looking at this, I might be able to learn your secret. Some magic spell or incantation that you had invoked. At the very least, I thought I might understand. Even as I read it, I thought that I must be missing something. For what meaning could such simple instructions hold? Even as you arrived here, I hoped that perhaps you would reveal some missing part of the puzzle. So golden was your light as I approached your library that I thought it must be someone else. So bright that I could see it clearly. The same color as the person close to you. Now, I don't know if I should be disappointed or not to find there is no secret to these words. Is there?
Holding my ice scroll in front of her face, the same way I held my necklace, her eyes glide across the characters.
수복강령. Please be happy. What simple nonsense. And yet, how could I deny that you've taken it to heart, when your very aura tells me your truth?
It's all I can do to blink, to breathe, to stay standing upright as the world narrows to just the two of us, all awareness of anything else falling away from me. Confusion is just as plain on Silver's face as my reaction as I struggle to speak.
You can read it? That's what it says?
After years of looking and trying to understand, and she can read it just like that? Silver, who says she cares nothing for people and their lives or culture? I'm not the only one stunned. The parchment falls from Silver's hand as she drops it in shock. It flutters to the ground and stays there, even as the budding breeze starts to blow. That shock changes into understanding, and then Silver laughs again. Really laughs for the first time I've ever seen. Her usual dignified and threatening poise is gone as she laughs so hard that it echoes around the woods. Clutching her chest, it's all she can do to remain upright as she acts like she heard the world's funniest joke. Still, just like earlier, I'm not sure there's any humor in it. Finally, with a groan, she retrieves my scroll and then straightens up, wiping her eyes.
You're serious, aren't you? You never knew what it said before now.
I shake my head.
I would call you a liar if you were anyone else. You've made a fool of me without even trying. Or rather, I've made a fool of myself.
What is happening?
I thought your glow was the result of those words. But you achieved that by yourself. Whatever it is you feel, it's something you've learned on your own, isn't it? You truly believe all the things you said.
Maybe not on my own. I had a lot of help along the way. But yeah, I mean it. Every word.
I reach out a hand again, taking a step forward, then another, and another. I stop just in front of Silver. All she has to do is take the final step forward. I don't demand anything, just reach. She eyes my hand warily, like a stray dog trying to decide if it would trust someone. I hold my breath, waiting. With a rustle, she pushes the paper into my hand, then backs away, looking at the ground.
Your path is different than mine. We may have more in common than I once thought, but I still cannot follow behind you. Though I can understand why you walk it.
I nod.
And I understand why you said no. I hope you change your mind someday.
Perhaps. Although, I do not think we'll meet again.
Oh.
Wait, why not? Are you leaving?
Soon. I don't know when. I haven't decided. But I made up my mind before I ever visited your library.
Oh.
You're disappointed.
I am. You're the first other Gumio I've ever known. You're like... family, I guess. Didn't you call us sisters before?
Silver blushes, averting her eyes.
Perhaps.
Then that's what we are.
That's simple, is it?
It really is.
Silver shakes her head and looks around, regaining a bit of her standoffish composure. This is about the time when she typically transform and run away.
At least tell me before you leave, okay? Whenever it is.
She hesitates, but then agrees.
Fine. Goodbye, Miho.
Bye, Silver.
She walks towards me rather than away, then comes to a stop right beside me. We both face in different directions. Slowly she raises a hand and awkwardly pats me on the shoulder just once. By the time I turn my back to look at her, all I can see is the disappearing gleam of a silver fox fur as she blends into the night. I'm alone, but I don't feel alone. Looking at my scroll, there are a few new creases from where Silver held onto it, but they don't mess up the writing or anything. It's just another record of what we've been through together. The breeze from before picks up, making the paper flutter in my grip, and I use 2 hands to hold it. Seeing without reading, I let my eyes wander over the familiar characters. It's funny, all this time spent not knowing what they said, just to find I've lived by them all along. Or at least I've started to. What arcana is silver? I have no idea. Happiness. That's a new one for me too. I think another abstract concept that didn't seem meant for me, but like everything else, it got easier along the way. If I had to choose, I feel like she would be judgment. I roll my scroll back up and stored safety in my pocket. The woods are dark as I walk through them, but I'm not afraid. The shining light in my bead brightens the path, leading my way back home. We did it! What the heck? We're at the last chapter, I believe. Chapter 5, Stray Thoughts. And we got the achievement. Stray Thoughts. Began Chapter 5, Aspen Route. Ace defective. I wonder if we chose like the path of not dating anyone. If like we were able to also have the option of like starting something with silver. Who knows? The familiar jingle of the Bell House door greets me as I walk in for what could be the last time. Once Aspen starts working at the new location next week, I won't have much reason to visit this one anymore. Damn, you're not even going to say hi to Lena? That's messed up. The scent of baking bread and brewing coffee mixed with the clean earthiness of all plants is something that I'll miss too.
Hey! Welcome to the Bell House! Oh, it's Miho!
Hey, Lena.
She tilts her head over her shoulder to yell back towards the kitchen.
Aspen! Your girlfriend's here!
There's a muffled sound from the back, and a couple of other patrons turn to look at the source of the shout. Lena ignores them entirely.
She'll be right out. Thanks!
Lena will also be moving over to the new location when it opens. Okay. Aspen told me she got to pick which staff members she wanted to invite to the new store, but she doesn't want Lena to know that. She'd never live it down. Since there's no one else in line, I lean against the counter to talk with Lena while I wait for Aspen.
I was just thinking about how I'm gonna miss this place. It must be like that for you too, right? I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much. Maybe I'll miss it when I get there. But why get a head start on that when I've still got another week here?
Good point.
I'm sure Leah and I have different feelings about the Bell House anyway. I have a lot of special treasured memories here. But for her, it's just part of her routine, kind of like how the library is important to both Aspen and me, but not in the same way. Aspen herself comes out from the kitchen, carrying a small plate with a strawberry croissant on it. Lena locks on instantly.
We still got croissants left?
Not anymore. I was saving this one for Miho.
Wow. Abusing your powers already?
Damn, Lena.
It's not the first time. Besides, I've noticed we go through blueberry muffins suspiciously fast when you're working the counter.
Ooh, damn.
Dang it. I thought I was being sneaky.
Not sneaky enough, so shh.
Aspen puts a finger on her lips as she hands me the illicit treat.
Wow, it's been forever since I've had stolen food.
That's crazy.
It's not stolen. It's just selectively available.
That's one way of putting it.
Right. I'm gonna go select something available from the rack myself. See you later, Miho. Bye, Lena.
Sure enough, she plucks a muffin from the display case on her way to the back of the store. I take a bite of the croissants, getting strawberries and cream all over my hands. It's as messy as it is delicious. Aspen reaches up and wipes away a dollop of cream from my
Go
nose.
sit down and I'll bring you something to drink. What would you like?
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to do that.
I want to, though. What do you have?
Well... Another foxtail latte, please.
Of course. I don't even have to ask.
It is my drink, after all.
When did the name change happen? I don't remember this interaction.
Yes, I'm well aware. And I'll have it right out.
I carry my croissant to my favorite seat by the window and sit down, enjoying the familiar view. It changed a bit since I first sat down here half a year ago, but still mostly the same on the outside. With only a couple weeks left until the new year, people bustle about outside, trying to make the best of what's left in this one. I think I've begun to understand why it's important to people, why it's worth numbering the years when you'll only get to see so many of them. I spot Aspen approaching, carrying a drink in each hand. I move my plate out of the way to make room for her as she sits down.
Here you are, a foxtail latte for its namesake.
Thanks! It's delicious!
Excuse me.
I haven't even tried it yet.
So? I don't need to. I just know.
It has been a hit with the customers too, I must say. More than any of the other beverages I've created. Clearly I have my wonderful muse to thank for that. You've left a mark on this place too.
That's why I get them for free forever, right?
Or as long as I'm working here at least. You know, maybe
Damn.
Lena was a little bit right about me abusing my powers.
I won't tell her you said that.
Good.
There's a growling list of things not to tell Lena. Growling? Bruh, growing. I can't read. Aspen takes a sip of her own drink and looks impressed.
Damn, that is good.
She removes the lid to let it cool, which isn't something I've seen her do before.
What are you doing after this? I'm only on a 5, by the way.
That's fine. I'll probably just head back to the library. I don't have much else to do today.
Jealous?
Why? What about you?
I'm only working half my shift here today. After lunch, I'm going to the new store to help Regina with some final inspections, and then doing interviews for new hires. It's a lot.
You're doing all of that in one day?
There aren't that many days left. We should have been done with hiring already, but one person changed his mind last minute. So now...
She trails off and ends with a sigh, a combination I know all too well.
Well, I could go on, but I won't. Who would have thought opening a brand new restaurant would be so much work?
Although she laughs, I can't help but be a little concerned. Although it's been over a month since Aspen decided to take a break from writing, it's still way too soon for her to be overworking herself again.
Are you sure you're gonna be alright? I mean, you're gonna be this busy until it opens, right?
If not busier, yes. It won't be fun, but I'll manage.
I've heard that one before, you know.
I know. I mean it though. Really. The soft opening is in 10 days. Even after that, there'll be plenty to do. Maybe more than there is now. But eventually things will settle down, and I don't have to sell my soul in the process too. That's the big difference. I can handle being tired. It was the dread and anxiety that I couldn't take.
Compared to before, there's something different in the way Aspen speaks. When she would talk about her writing and how she felt, it was obvious that she didn't believe the words she was saying, but now I can tell from the light in her eyes that she means it.
Okay. You're pretty determined, huh?
I am. It felt good to make my mind up about something. I want to give it my very best, so that I can feel good when I look back on it too. Besides, I'd say that growing the new Bell House into Wellington's most popular cafe would be a more than adequate way to be remembered. But I'll settle for it being a hidden gem, too.
As long as you're selling strawberry croissants and foxtail lattes, I don't see how it could be anything else.
Hopefully. Word of mouth from the first few days will be very important. If we fail to make a good first impression, then it could be hard to recover.
You're worrying too much. Everyone already loves the Bell House. I'm sure they'll love yours too.
Me? Worry too much? No way.
Uh-huh.
Well, you're probably right. Besides, I have a great team too. With their help, I'm sure it'll turn out okay.
That's more like it. You and Lena are gonna do great.
I can't let her show me up after all, especially as the store manager. Oh God, I really am starting to sound like her.
That's another one for the list, right?
Naturally. Speaking of Lena, I need to get back to work. I'm busy this afternoon, but I'm free tomorrow after work.
I'm always free when you are.
It's a date then.
We say goodbye with a kiss like usual before Aspen has to leave. I finish up the last couple of bites of my croissant on my own, watching out the window. At one point, even the Bell House was in here. I don't know what it was, but it's hard for me to picture it was anything else. At one point, it was just someone's dream, an idea, or a half-formed concept. It took a lot to turn that into a little restaurant that I know and love today. For the new Bell House, Aspen will be responsible for the start of its story, for making it more than just a dream. I have a lot of faith in her, though. Aspen's great at stories. Seeing her enthusiasm and determination return is such a relief. Her path forward is clear. At least for now, I'm glad for her. I really am. Still, I can't help but wish I had something like that for myself too. A goal to work towards, or a dream to fulfill. At first, Julia let me work at the library so that I could have some structure in my everyday life, and to get more used to being around other people, but that's not something I need as much anymore. I don't mind my job, but the fact that I'm here right now, and come and go whenever I feel like it, kind of proves that what I do there isn't 100% necessary. Still, it's home. It's a place to go back to while I figure out what's next. So after cleaning up my trash and finishing my drink, that's exactly what I do. At breakfast, Julia and I set up the table, and she prepares a place for 3 people like
I
usual.
forgot to tell you. Aspen won't be here today.
Oh, I see. Is everything all right?
Yeah, she's just busy. She said she doesn't know how often she'll be able to come by until the new Bell House opens.
Excuse
I
me.
understand. She must have a lot of responsibilities to take care of right now.
Mm-hmm. I was worried about how much work she has to do. I still am. But she's pretty confident in herself. So maybe it'll be okay.
It's only natural that you'd be concerned. You care about her a lot. I'm sure she's glad that you worry about her, even when she tells you not to. I have faith in her too. When Aspen puts her mind to something, she's unstoppable. One of my earliest memories with her came from her first visit to the library, when she was trying to find a certain book on the shelves. Only it wasn't there, because I was reading it at the time and had it in my room. She asked if she could borrow it, promising to return it the next day. I told her she could take more time with it, but she stayed up all night reading it and brought it back like she promised. It wasn't a short book by any means either. I imagine she's treating her new role with similar focus and determination, which is why I'm sure she'll succeed in the end.
Yeah, you're right. I can't spend all my time worrying about her. I have to trust her to live her life too. Even though I said that last time, I understand it better this time.
That's good. It can be a difficult lesson to learn.
That's for sure.
Juliet laughs and we start to eat. It's a little quiet without Aspen or even the sound of her silverware, especially since for Juliet, having a meal is entirely symbolic anyway. I try to eat fast just to get it over with. When we finish and clean up, Juliet lingers around the kitchen for a bit in a way that means she has something to say. Sure enough, once everything else is done, she clears her throat.
Miho, there's something I wanted to ask you.
Sure. What's up?
Earlier this morning, I saw that I'd received a reply to a message that I never expected to be answered. A couple months ago, I managed to find someone online that I thought might be related to your friend Zhongying, and reached out to confirm. They never got back to me, and so I didn't mention it to you. But then today, she finally responded and said that yes, they are distant relatives. She said that if you'd like to talk with her, she'd be happy to tell you a bit about Zhongying, or at least what she knows. Is that something you'd like to do?
Oh. Wow. I guess you wouldn't be shocked that I never even thought about them maybe having a family.
I thought that might be the case. You're welcome to think about it and get back to me later.
In my mind, Jianin was always alone, but with me, they belonged to the forest and to the rest of the world equally. But it makes sense that they weren't really alone. They had people who loved them too. It hits me that there's so much I don't know about Jianin. Really, I barely know anything. Every minute shared with me only represented a very small part of their life. In a sense, that may as well be a stranger. I'm a little afraid that knowing more about them could change how I feel about them too. But I decide that's a risk I'm willing to take. I'd rather know more about who they really were.
Nah, I don't need to. I'd like to talk to her.
Wonderful. I'll let her know then. I believe she's in America, so our times are fairly different. Shall I see if tomorrow evening would work?
Sure, that sounds good. Thanks. And thanks for tracking her down and messaging her in the first place.
It's my pleasure. It's what I specialize in, after all. I'll let you know tonight if I hear back from her.
Okay. I'm going to see Aspen when she gets off work, but I'll be back sometime this evening.
I'll see you then. Have a great day, Miho.
Have a good sleep.
There's a lot that I'm looking forward to talking about with Aspen today. I set myself up in the library and take care of my chores like usual, but it's hard to think about anything else. The afternoon sunshine draws us to the park once Aspen gets off work. Instead of staying indoors at her apartment or the library, she tells me all about her day at work, and in exchange I tell her about my upcoming call.
Wow! Juliet's incredible, isn't she? I had no idea she was setting that up.
Me either. It was a total surprise. She said she sent the message a long time ago, though, and it took months before she got a response.
Well, I can certainly empathize with that. At least in this case, the response turned out to be a good one.
Hopefully. I'm a little bit nervous, though.
About what?
Just about what they might say. What if it turns out Changyin is totally different from what I thought? What if they were actually a terrible person?
Then that would be true whether you knew it or not. They do say ignorance is bliss for a reason. If I were you, though, I would want to know the truth no matter what.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe someday I'll be able to do something without worrying about it the whole time.
If you figure out the secret, let me know. Lena sure isn't sharing it. I think she's somewhere around here too. At least she mentioned that before she clocked out.
Is that why we're here?
Not at all. I adore Lena, but I'll be spending more time with her than without her for the next month. I just wanted to appreciate the fresh air before I forget what it's like.
Hello, bunny. It's been a while.
Put a ton of plants in your bell house too. Did you know that plants help us breathe? I just learned that on TV.
I was aware, but I'm glad for you. Plants are on the list, though. I also want to put in a reading corner with a small library for people to browse while they visit. Regina's allowing me to set it up and decorate how I see fit, so I'm being as self-indulgent as I can.
Yeah, I'd say it has been. How have you been? I've been doing well, thank you. How are you?
A cafe with a library in it? That sounds perfect for you. Where would you get the books from? Juliet?
I was planning to ask her for some, yes, as well as a few from my own collection, and Lena's, and anyone else who'd like to donate. Maybe Juliet would even let us share books, so you can return them at either place.
That's good. I'm pretty good. Can't complain. Nice. Are you enjoying the summer weather?
How would you keep track of it? Would you hire someone to do it?
Well, I happen to know a certain someone who's very experienced in that position. But no, we would simply have to use the honor system, like Juliet used to.
I still don't get how she doesn't worry about people stealing them. I mean, I do, but I don't.
I think it makes sense. Maybe it's even impossible to steal from a library. After all, they're meant for sharing books. If you take one home and give it to a friend instead of returning it, it still served its purpose. Or if you hold on to it for years and then only return it much later, you still returned it. That's the beauty of books. They can always wait. My New Year's resolution is to get through at least half of my backlog, personally.
Your New Year what?
Resolution. It's like a goal that you set for yourself for the year. And then usually give up on by February, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
That sounds neat. Did you have one this year?
I did. It was to finish and hopefully release a book. It may not have come true, but I'm happy with the outcome, all the same.
I should try to think of one for next year myself. Maybe I'll try to get through half my reading backlog too.
Do you have one of those?
Nope. So I'm doing good already. Maybe it'll be to read 10 books. Or 100 books. I don't know what a good number to try is.
Probably somewhere in between. You don't have to make it about reading, though. You don't have to make one at all if you don't want to. Only if it helps motivate you.
I'll think about it. I've been thinking that I need something else to do with my life as it is.
Something else?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the library's fine and all. But I'm not really excited about it the same way you are about the Bell House. Yesterday, I was thinking about how Juliet doesn't need me to help her. She just gave me the job as a favor, even if she said otherwise.
Oh boy. Is Miho gonna go work with Aspen then? That'd be really cute. They could run the cafe together.
I don't really need that favor anymore, though.
You've outgrown it.
Yeah. I have other things I can rely on.
One of them links arms with me.
Always.
Not far away, there's an empty bench alongside the path, and Aspen leads us to it so we can sit down. We've been walking for almost an hour now, so a break is nice. Aspen takes off her hat and sets her purse on the ground between us while I stretch out my legs. We're not the only ones out here enjoying the afternoon. The park's alive and bustling. I wonder if at some point Miho is gonna just like transform into a fox and just lay in her lap. I feel like that's something Aspen secretly would like, considering she has like cats. Bikers, joggers, dog walkers, and skaters all dodge around each other, plus the regular pedestrians like Aspen and me. Some of the dogs even run around off their leashes, ditching the road entirely. People are playing all kinds of sports too, and I can even tell the difference between some of them by now. I'm still a bit confused on what football is, though. I even spot Lena, though she doesn't see us. Excuse me. Aspen pokes me in the side.
Oh, look over there. Think he's lost?
Oh, across from us, a dog is sniffing around. There's a break in the foot traffic around us for now, so I don't see anyone watching him. Oh my gosh, it's Pom Pom Purin!
His owner's probably around here somewhere. Maybe he ran ahead of them.
The dog looks over at us like he knows we're talking about him. He takes a couple steps towards us, sniffling the air, with his tail wagging just a little bit. Pom Pom have seen better days. He's doing his best. This is him before Sanrio.
Oh, come here. Here, puppy.
The puppy Aspen's about that slowly creeps closer toward Aspen's outreached hand. I sit still, not wanting to spook him. He seems friendly, but cautious. One step, two step, he never stops sniffing. It just looks so goofy because, like, it just looks like they threw a PNG and they're just, it's like when you're editing a video and you just take that PNG and just wiggle it around. That's what it looks like. Pom Pom relapsed after losing the Sanrio ranking. That's crazy. I think he's actually still number 1. I know at some point I think he dropped to number 2 and Cinema Roll was number 1, but he's still top 3. Oh. Then he runs forward, bites the handle of Aspen's purse, and takes off with it. Aspen jumps to her feet.
Hey, stop! Come here!
Thief! Thief! The dog doesn't even look back as it runs away, dragging Aspen's purse with it. The contents start to spill out as they go. I run after the puppy, who's going further into the park, not wasting my breath shouting. I've been running away too much these past couple months. I could transform, but I think that would probably scare him even more. I know better than to chase a dog, but I don't have much other choice. I hope I can just wear him out and then catch him. Glancing back, I see Aspen falling behind me, gathering up everything that she can. The puppy also looks back at me every now and then, changing directions at random. Some of the other people who see us lunge for the dog or try to block him off, but he dodges all of them and keeps running. I'm a little impressed. He zigzags again, but this time it's lucky for me. He's heading straight towards Lena.
Hey, Lena!
He spins around to see me, and I can tell she's trying to process what's happening. The dog is closer to her than he is to me.
Him!
Luckily, my words get through. Lena crouches, already warmed up. The puppy sees her and starts to go in a different direction, away from both of us.
Not so fast!
Lena jumps for him and flaps her wings to carry herself even farther. She crashes to the ground just in front of the dog, who scrambles over himself to try to stop and turn again.
Gotcha!
Damn. I reach them just in time to grab him by the scruff of his neck. He immediately drops Aspen's purse like a thief who's been caught. Not that I would know. Aspen herself is slowly approaching, her arms full, and she tries not to drop anything.
Not quite how I expected to end my workout today.
Thank you, Lena. You're literally a lifesaver.
Pom Pom, how could you? Look what you did.
Whoa! Aspen said literally! That means it's serious.
I make sure Aspen's purse is safe before I let go of the puppy, who's been tossing and turning in my arms. Aspen walks up and wags a finger at him.
As for you, hasn't anyone taught you any manners?
The dog walks away from us, but not very far, so he can watch instead. He reminds me a little bit of Silver. I hope he doesn't turn into a person.
I've seen that dog around before. Pretty sure he's a stray. I haven't heard of him taking anyone's stuff like that, though.
Got anything good in your purse?
Not if you're a dog. There's just...
While digging around in her now refilled purse, Aspen stops and then pulls out a smushed plastic
I
wrapper.
guess there's the other half of my lunch that I forgot about.
The dog wags his tail and barks in Aspen's direction, and she frowns.
This is what you were after, wasn't it? It really wasn't that good, I promise.
She wraps the remnants of a sandwich and tosses it to the dog, who gobbles it up down in just a couple bites before looking at us for more. If he's a stray like Lena said, that could be the best meal he's had in days.
That's all I have.
Lena and I were both empty-handed.
What should we do with him? What if he's not a stray and someone's looking for him?
They must not be looking very hard. I've seen him a couple days in a row now.
Poor thing. He seems so friendly when he isn't running off with my things.
I stoop down to try and pet him, and he lets me. He even licks my hand a couple times.
Maybe we can take him back to the library with us. Juliet might know what to do.
Well, she is known for helping strays. I'm not sure how we'd get him back there, though.
I can carry him. He doesn't look too heavy.
Carry him?
Yeah, oh, why not? If he'll let me pick him up, at least.
Just... please be careful.
I will.
I crouch down and approach him slowly, keeping my hands out for him to sniff. I also try to wag my own tail to help reassure him. Instead of running away, he just flops onto his back, asking for a belly rub. I do that with one hand while I slid the other beneath him. He's so lean that I can see his ribs. Then I scoop him up. He whoops in surprise, but doesn't try to escape. Once I get him situated, he's pretty calm.
That wasn't so bad.
Both Aspen and Lena crowded in to pet him. Now that he can't get away, he sits there and takes it all in stride.
Okay, he's not that heavy, but let's get going anyway.
All right. I'll text Juliet so that she isn't totally blindsided when we get there. See you tomorrow, Lena.
Later, boss! Later, mijo! Oh, later, puppy!
Still leaning against my shoulder, the dog doesn't mind when Aspen moves his paws to wave goodbye at Lena. Although the dog starts to squirm at some point, I manage to carry him all the way home. He sheds and definitely smells like a stray dog, but I don't mind it too much. You can't help it, after all. Aspen also holds him a couple times. For some reason, he's more antsy with her than with me, so her turns don't last as long. When we arrive at the library, Juliet's waiting just inside.
Oh my, isn't he precious?
The puppy thumps his tail against my chest as Juliet comes over to pat him. People just can't stop themselves from doing that, I guess. He kind of like matches Juliet's fit, like the gold.
Let's take him upstairs.
I don't want to set him down here with the last few library patrons and all the books. Other than his initial chase, he's been pretty calm, but that could change once he's recharged. We all go to my room where I finally put the dog on the floor. He starts sniffing around immediately. Although there isn't that much to sniff, I watch for any signs of trouble, but he's good.
I like him a lot more when he isn't robbing me.
He's a phantom thief.
Just didn't know how to ask politely.
There's a half-full glass of water on my desk, and I set it down on the ground so the dog could drink some. He slurps up as much as he can. The glass is too big for his tongue to reach all of it.
I'll go fetch a bowl of water and see if we have anything that would be safe for him to eat. And then we can talk about what to do with him.
Aspen sits down on my bed, but I sit on the floor, and the dog walks over to sniff me.
Seems he's already taken a liking to you.
His fur is stiff and coarse, and he's bony. He can't be that old, which makes me think he must have spent most of his short life as a stray. Juliet returns, setting the water and also a bowl with some banana slices, bread, and a slice of cheese.
It's not the healthiest meal, but it should keep his belly full for a little bit.
The dog digs in like he didn't just eat half a sandwich earlier. The bowl slides across the floor from the force of his munching, and he smacks his lips while he tries to chew the banana.
Is it okay if he stays here for a while? I'll take care of him. Even if it's just until we find his real owner, if he has one. I don't want to just kick him back out.
Oh, heavens! I wouldn't dream of just tossing him back out on the street. But taking care of a pet, even for a couple of days, is a lot of work. Are you sure?
I'm sure. Whatever it is, I'll do it.
I've only had this puppy around for a couple of hours, but I already know that I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Scrounging for food, stealing, not having anywhere to go back to, they're all things I can relate to.
I don't see why not, then. I'll keep an eye out as well for anyone who may be searching for a lost dog like him.
Thanks. I don't think he has any people, though. I think he's all on his own.
You may be right. Still, we should do our best to make sure.
Right. I'll look out for any posters or missing signs.
After he finishes his meal, the dog flops down by me. He stares at me but doesn't move, instead fighting to keep his eyes open. Now that he's eaten more, he does seem totally exhausted.
He must be in doggy paradise right now after spending a few days in the park. I know I sure would be.
I look up at Juliet, smiling.
Yeah. I think he'll like staying here.
When I wake up, the dog is already awake and staring at me from the floor, ready to go. The two of us go downstairs and join Juliet for breakfast, where she's prepared another bowl of fruit and bread for the dog. He eats it, but even if he's only going to be here for a couple days, he'll need more than people food.
I think I'm gonna go buy some dog food for him. I can get that at most stores, right?
Oop, I will be right back.
Yes, it shouldn't be difficult to find.
I check my wallet. I have plenty of money. Essentially, it pays me for my library work, but there's hardly ever anything I need to buy myself. This will be a good use as
Do
any.
you mind watching him while I go?
Not at all.
Thanks.
I kneel down and pet the dog's head. I've already learned one of his favorite spots, right at the base of his ears, and give him a good scratch.
Okay, stay here with Juliet, alright?
I really am turning into Aspen with how much I talk to the dog. Although he stays put for a moment, he follows me to the front door before I can leave, and gently push him back with my foot.
No, you can't come with me.
The dog paws on my leg, looking at me expectantly. Once more, I let him outside to relieve himself, but even after he finishes that, he won't go back into the library without me.
You're not gonna take no for an answer, are you?
Sighing, I accept my fate. I let Juliet know about the change of plans, and then the dog and I start walking. He stays near me, sometimes going off the path to sniff something, but he always returns. Each time he starts to walk away, I feel a tinge of worry that he won't come back. But that possibly is just something that I have to accept. Even if some details of my past have gotten hazy for me, I can still clearly remember how it feels to need to run and escape. If the dog decides that what he needs to do, then it's not my place to stop him. Still, I'm relieved every time he stops sniffing and returns to my side. Eventually, we get into town and I find a pet store. There's a sign on the window saying the dogs are allowed inside, which is what I was hoping for. A bell rings when we walk in, although it doesn't sound as pretty as one at the Bell House. I wander around until I find the dog food section. There are more choices here than I thought. Big bags, small bags, red bags, blue bags. I'm not sure which one to pick. The dog sniffs each of them in turn. I watch to see if one gets his interest more than the others, but it doesn't seem like he's picky. I try to find which one has the most similar looking dog on the front.
Guess I'll go with this one.
On the way to the front, the dog veers off down another aisle, and I follow behind to see what got his attention. Of course, it's the toy aisle. Just like in the food section, there are dozens on display. He sniffs them all even more fiercely than the kibble. There's a small basket of plastic toys on the ground, and he pulls out one with his mouth. It looks like a cartoon squirrel and its tail squeaks when he bites it. He gives it a good shake, getting a few more squeaks in the process. His tail wags even faster than his head, and he looks at me eagerly. I reach for the toy, but he hops away and then crouches down, tail still going, daring me to try and take it again. I do, but he instantly jumps out of reach once more, shaking and squeaking the toy again too.
Okay, you can keep it. But come on, I gotta pay.
It's been a long time since I've stolen anything. Now that I can actually pay for things, I can't see myself stealing again. I feel kinda guilty about things I took in the past, but I only ever did what I had to in order to survive. Once I had support from others in my life, and the help I needed to get my feet on the ground, stealing stopped being something I felt like I had to do. At the counter, I used 2 fingers to hold the slobbery toy so the cashier can scan it. Before returning it to the dog, I tuck a bag of food under one arm and we start walking home. We reach a crosswalk, arriving as the light changes to send traffic across our path. I come to a halt while I wait, switching which arm I use to carry the bag since it's getting sore. But the puppy doesn't stop with me. Instead, he doesn't even look back as he runs out to the road, eager to get back to the library. Oh jeez. A car horn blares as it barrels towards us down the road, too close to be able to brake in time. Ooh. I feel like I'm moving in slow motion as I drop the bag of food and dash out into the road, despite knowing how dumb that is. I grab the dog as I sprinted by, barely hauling ourselves out of the way of the passing car. The driver understandably gives me a rude gesture as he goes by. The dog, meanwhile, looks at me as if offended by the rough treatment, with my hand still holding him tightly.
You dummy! You could have died right there!
The squirrel toy in his mouth squeaks as he squirms in my grasp. That was way too close for comfort. If I had been just one step farther away, I would have been too late to rescue the dog. I probably would have gotten myself hit for my troubles too. Behind us and across the street, the bag of food lies on its side, some kibbles strewn across the ground from a spot where it tore when I dropped it. Whether the dog wants to run away or stay with me is up to him. But I can't just let him get himself hurt or worse. I only have one choice. I hoist the dog up and hold him with one arm, just like the dog food bag that I go back and retrieve before we start walking again. He doesn't squirm as much as he did yesterday, which helps a lot, but still by the time we make it back to the library, both my arms feel like they're ready to fall off. When I set the dog down, he strolls up to the library door as if nothing happened, waiting for me to let him in. I guess in his mind maybe nothing did happen. He got no clue how lucky he was. A long time ago, Juliet said that sometimes your best is all you can do. That goes for puppies too. If I'd been born a city dog instead of a fox, I doubt I'd be much different either. Still, I have to think it's a miracle that any dog makes it to adulthood, especially strays like him. When it's finally time for my meeting, Juliet helps me to get set up on her computer and then lets me take it to my room. Alrighty. She's gonna have that conversation on the next stream. Ooh. Hope a lot happened in today's stream. But guess what? I'm pretty sure a lot more will happen on next stream. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. Until next time, take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.